Thank you. Thank you, North Carolina. Woo, yeah.
All right, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm in North Carolina on the road in a hotel room.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah. Every time I bring this stuff, it's
Sounds
on
like
hotel internet.
Gay porno, dude.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is every time the maids come in, they must think that because the way everything's set up. So.
Well, I hope you're not in Canada if maids are coming in.
And all the used condoms and cum on the floor. That also.
I'd rather go to. I'd rather go to Iran than Canada right now.
Are we about to see Bonnie Blue pop out from behind?
I'm going to say I'd rather go to Iran than use condoms.
No.
Gary's about to fuck 1,000 Bonnie Blues.
No, I'd rather die.
We're off to a great start.
Well, if you fuck her, you might die.
There's a theory that she's a man.
I heard about that, yeah.
Someone would have noticed, surely.
You think of the 1,000 subjects.
They're probably too embarrassed.
That's a lot of test subjects.
They're like, well, this will be tough, but I'll do it.
No, the amount of people she's done, like that's used for polls to actually predict presidential elections. So I think somebody would have.
There is no way
their polls are going to fall off.
There's no way a surgically constructed vagina would hold up to the fucking.
No way.
Maybe she still has her gear intact.
All natural.
Surgically constructed vaginas just fall apart
Ryan,
on their own.
Maybe there is no vagina.
Maybe
Maybe it's just her penis.
Did you fuck Bonnie Blue? No, but I gave her a great blowjob.
Maybe it's all
You got to
just
sign an
butt
NDA.
stuff.
Why would that be worse than what she's already done anyway? It's like, oh, well, she did do 1,000 blocks in one night, but at least she's not a man. Or it's like, that shouldn't be like the run.
At least she voted for Biden. Well, sorry,
at least it wasn't gay.
And maybe they're all.
Hey, welcome to the show, everybody.
Yeah.
I want to start out with something slightly more disturbing than Bonnie Blue.
James Gunn?
Because it was no. We're gonna talk about Superman's James Gunn. I'm really proud of the title. Looks down. Thank you very much.
More disturbing than Bonnie Blue. What is this like? Will Smith
we'll get to
song?
it. We're going to talk about Marvel's commitment to failure, Hollywood's doom loop, Marvel's doom loop, Doctor Who's still dead, Black James Bond. But we're going to start out with we can do the tweet. I was this many years old when I found out that there's an entire community, 1,500 of them here for a convention, of people who have fake babies.
Burn them.
Fake babies. So they make furries look downright reasonable at this point.
Oh my God.
Bizarre.
I think you listen.
Dude,
say what you want. Furries are honest. All right. You
so
walk into that
weird.
convention, you know what
Gary,
you're
this
getting.
is where you're staying. This is happening.
So just
There's a whole convention hall.
Let me set up a little bit. I fully realize that I am a guy who sits in front of action figures and talks about Hollywood. Right? I completely understand this. And I am here for basically an Atlantis convention, and we are not even close to being the weirdest thing here, like at all.
Whoa.
So it's not just, hey, we've got dolls and we're putting them on tables. No, they're being rolled around in strollers. They're being treated like babies, like in public. I just was in an elevator full of them with the Cosmic Summit people who are pretty. They believe some crazy shit at Cosmic Summit, and they're like, I was there with JJ Ainsworth. I was in the fight. And she was like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, I don't know.
So
I just found out about it this weekend.
Too far.
I have
I
guess I have a question. So, like, I didn't think about it until you pulled up the site. But is this for people who have had children pass away or had children, die?
Yeah, okay.
It could be, but there's a woman on Love on the Spectrum who she just part of her autism is she has to have a baby doll with her all the time.
Yes.
Well,
okay. So I went
think
down the
it's-
rabbit hole last night.
Reborn makes me.
I went down the rabbit
hole.
hole last night. These are called reborn babies. They're originally made for miscarriages and women that were not fertile, unable to have babies, and a way to cope with it for a little bit. But then it turned into a whole subculture of people that make them and people that treat them like real babies. It's very very layered.
Well, the maternal instinct is like the strongest instinct for a woman, and so if for any reason you don't have a kid, this would satisfy that instinct.
Well, I
No,
mean,
get a
I don't think
dog.
it's
And that argument works. You go, okay, maybe it's more sad than it is disturbing. It's a little disturbing.
it's the
more
end result
sad.
of feminism,
Until you see this downstairs
Oh,
right now.
no.
They have avatar baby.
Is this the 28 years
Navi.
later,
Oh,
baby?
This is
Yes.
just lazy.
that was what the
That's-
baby should have looked like. What the
That's
hell?
just
No,
lazy.
okay,
When you first mentioned there were Navi babies,
I
was
think
like,
this is
oh,
a new
like, do they
Avenger.
look like the?
No,
do they
I-
have like custom models? But this is
What
just
the
this is
fuck
just
is
lazy.
that?
Dude, I appreciate Ryan and Quarter Black trying to find like maybe there's a reason for this that's human on some kind of connection. And as Garrett mentioned, it might have started out that way, but what's going on downstairs is not it. That is not what's happening. And by the way,
if you clarity before we just brutally, like, mercilessly roasted these people who may have like lost their children, like, I just wanted to make sure.
I understand that.
You know, I'm not gonna say I have a heart, but I do understand the optics. So,
But if you're doing that and you're just going there to this convention to show off your baby, that has moved far beyond just the I have this to help me cope. That is now like you are trying to put this as a show. It's no different than the trans stuff, really. It's like, it's all a performance.
I would be afraid to take a real baby to this. They'll probably get stolen.
Well, I don't think they're taking real
That's the
babies.
thing.
It's like,
There's
that's a
families
real
everywhere.
baby?
There's full families. They have kids. They also have these babies. It's very strange. There's old.
And I could probably make a pretty good argument that even if it's being used for that, that's not healthy at
No.
It's
all.
not healthy.
Like
It's not healthy.
at all.
That's-
And
Oh no, this
not
is
even a
perfectly
baby.
normal.
yeah, no, dude, being pushed around on strollers, being patted while they're walking around. They're and the weirdest part is they're being taken out of like boxes and shit, and then put in the strollers and then treated like babies, and they look like dead babies, like their heads are
Yes.
bobbling around
I
like
didn't
this.
realize it. I just checked in. I got to my room and I was meeting them at the downstairs in the lobby, and I didn't know this was going on. And I came out of the elevator and I saw there was a baby, just head cocked over, all weird in this like push around cart, just like it was thrown into this thing. And I was like, that's kind of weird. And I didn't clock it. I was just like, okay, where's Gary and where's everybody? And then we got there, and Luke Caverns, we were hanging out with, was like, what's going on with all these babies? And I looked around and then started kicking in. I was like, oh, these are all fake babies. There were people like nursing them. I had a bottle, swaddling them, had them in these like thousands of dollar strollers, like these old classic strollers and stuff. It's just beyond bizarre.
I mean,
guess
next
part
time,
of it has got to
next
be the
time-
aesthetic.
It feels like it. Do they not know that
Like
there
the
is a way to
baby.
get a real baby? Like, have they just given
Look,
up
dude,
on
Or
the
dog.
You
I don't
saw
know
the
if I wanted to
pictures.
have
They seem
babies.
to be of a certain age. There probably wouldn't be that at that point.
I'm
I
not
don't
saying
think this is as unusual. It's obviously weird. And it shouldn't have happened. But I think this is more a case of they should have had babies earlier on, and they wouldn't be doing this. Rather than now they've got no
Well,
other
there's a
choice.
lot of
but they've
people
still
here-
got that instinct to
it's
look after something.
Do not
Maybe
think
it's just
for
like-
1 second it's all people who couldn't have babies.
It's probably a
Yes,
fetish.
no,
not all that.
that's probably
There's
like
always going to
2%.
be kink and stuff. But I think from the, like
I would
You know what you
imagine a lot
should
of it
do?
is like the celebration of maternity and the maternal aesthetic and the strollers and all the stuff that comes along with being a mother and being with other mothers and bonding over
And
a
have a
kind of
stroller
an
convention.
experience. Well, it's not. I think it's the
I think they do it,
combination
yeah.
of all the parts,
Try to justify
right?
the fetish.
And I think it's weird, but I think I can
It's a fetish.
understand. I suppose.
It's 100%
Yeah.
fetish.
Like sexually.
Why can't they just take
No,
up
like a
mental illness
Ooh.
like most middle-aged
I think
white
they
people?
have.
Not healthy.
I think this is them trying to cope
It's a
with
good,
the
Gary,
it's a
next
good
time-
overlap there.
You're in the elevator with some of these people. You should say, "Could you be a doll and hit floor number 3?"
I will.
This is weird as fuck. Does
Oh,
anyone
I
want
see
to
you
see my
dolled up for this
Batman
one.
Scarecrow toy?
Whoa.
I'm gonna take
Oh.
it out for a walk later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
take it
stroller.
a bottle.
No. Dress up as Batman and fight him.
That actually sounds more
I think you'll
sane,
win.
actually.
I'm surprised with James Gunn involved, they're not doing a Superman screening at that convention. Seems like his
I
crowd.
think that's his audience. Yeah, I think that's his audience. Yeah.
Have you guys seen trans people at this thing?
No.
No.
Okay.
That's
Lesbians
what I'm
are
saying.
like that.
It's a different subsection. It's a different subculture. It's
Lots
something
of
else.
big lesbians.
Yeah, there's
Whoa.
that too. Yeah, black, white, Old, young.
Yeah, you know what? This is bringing like it was Juneteenth yesterday, and was bringing white women and black women together like I've never seen. Like it's 50-50. Yeah, it's pretty.
It's amazing.
No Asian women in
Were
there.
the black babies chirping every couple of minutes?
You know, I'm
Yeah,
just
they have to feed them
their
children.
batteries
Change
in.
your baby's batteries.
I'm starting to suspect that this
You
might be the
can't
end.
say that.
I'm starting to suspect
Yeah,
this could be
you
the
can.
end state
You
of
can.
feminism. That all the feminists that get too old and they miss the time is like, well, there's an alternative.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can still get the baby.
That
Well,
clock
have you-
finally went off and they wanted a doll.
Is it
instead.
fake
You can
baby?
have anything as long as it's plastic.
Maybe fake baby's better. Okay, maybe I'll just side with fake
Maybe,
baby going insufferable woke white woman.
That's what I mean. Like, I am all for being concerned about the replacement rate and all those things. I think those are good things to talk about. However, I fully believe there are people that should not reproduce ever. And if you find yourself
Many
being
of them are on this panel.
obsessed with one of these things,
Too late. Hi, Rags.
Hello, how are you? Yes,
You know,
I'm back.
if I went to one of those conventions,
Everyone complaints to the usual address.
I would fill my fake baby up with vodka and put a little
Mahler at
screw on the mouth and be like,
efect.com.
That's right.
Sorry, I'm just picturing.
What was that,
all
Chrissy?
this
Sorry.
convention-
if I went to this convention, I'd fill my fake baby up with like vodka or White Claw, and then it'd be like,
There you go.
If you had to
You can
like,
do
if you
reverse
be-
nursing.
You sucking on that.
Yeah, reverse nursing.
Somehow you can like inject it into the tits. Like,
Yeah.
straight.
if everybody's
I think
baby
you got
had like
confused about
a
which way
sort
around
of
that's meant to
theme,
happen.
right? That'd be fun.
I want Ryan to go to this convention and treat the baby like he did to the one that he did in high school, just knocking it around, shaking
up.
it.
They're all horrified.
And just seeing what do they do, how they react, like you just
Punning it down the aisle?
So to clarify for the people that weren't present for that conversation, I'm talking about the
That's
fake
everybody, by the
babies
way.
that I was given in high school, right? Where I don't know how everybody was, but for me, at some point in high school or late middle school or whatever, you had to do a health class where you had to take care of a baby. And you got graded on if you fed it when it cried or if you let its head rock too far back. You give these things to like 13 or 14-year-old boys. What do you fucking expect them to do? We're beating the shit out of them. We're
How can we
stretching
kill
their
the
neck
baby?
out. Like we're not like all the girls are totally into it and they're pretending they're real. They're really concerned, and all the guys are just beating the shit out of theirs.
Did you go to school with Louise Woodward?
Who?
Who's that?
It's a deep cut there.
Look,
on
this
that show.
is a reference
Killed
that
the
I
child.
The people in the chat who know, you know.
Yeah, and then it's
She was a
if you
nanny
did it-
killer. She was a nanny killer.
Oh,
And then she killed nannies.
Wait, she killed nannies?
Just say the
killed
nanny
nannies.
killer.
Went
yeah.
around and killed nannies?
And then if you did have a
She
friend
killed
who,
nannies.
and then if you did have a friend who really cared about their
Some
baby,
serial killers.
if they fucking left it alone, you tried to fuck it up, right? Like,
Yeah. And nowadays
You'll
they're
make 'em fail.
they're probably just changing the gender of their fake babies in high school. Just get off.
Jeez.
Get it done early. Get it done early. So do we want to go to right? Because we're going to talk about 28 years later. Okay.
In 28 years, yes.
We don't
In
want to
28
spoil it
years.
for you guys.
No.
28 minutes later.
We're talking about it later because
28
like
minutes plus
there's
another
no
28.
way this crew is going to have a spoiler-free discussion.
No.
Just to let you know.
There's
That-
a movie
that shit-
called 28 Seconds Later. It's about Az's sex life.
Dang, Az is catching strays here.
Yeah.
He's not catching strays.
I have
Probably
never
will.
lasted
Think it out yourself.
28 seconds in my life.
When she got that joke ready, she's like, "All right, who's it gonna be?
Let's go.
Az. It's gotta be Az."
You want to do James Gunn first? I mean, he is the
Yeah.
star of the show.
At least I'm getting it.
We'll start out with James Gunn because he's been in the news in multiple articles. We're not going to read it because it's long, but I read the entire Rolling Stone article, which a lot of people are ripping from, and it's pretty. Well, I mean, Rolling Stone, citadel of journalism, by the way. They are
Shit.
shit.
Wow, look how
Hang
cool it
on.
looks in that
Can
Can
photo.
we go back to that image? Because
Yeah,
that's
just
just
go
like
cool.
James Gunn in a nutshell.
oh,
That's
oh.
just like, look at me. I'm so cool. That's
Wow,
it.
he's
I can
very-
barely
This
see
is,
it. Maybe you can like back it up to like not
Wow.
my
He's
standards. There you
Impressed
go.
with himself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huge
that's
with the picture.
that's just
Yeah, so-
cringe.
James, we need you to look like a pretentious twat.
He's like, you know what? He's like, I did
I
just
got it.
throw, I just threw my back out, but let's make it look stylish.
I get it. His last name is Gunn and is holding his hand like a gun.
That actually makes it worse.
That makes it worse.
In so many ways.
The kind of guy who nicknames himself. No, humility is not something you could say is applied to James Gunn during this Superman marketing campaign, which we have been told is going to be like Barbie, which means they're going to put a lot of effing money into it. So we're just getting started. I don't know if we're going to get you remember the Barbie house Airbnb? They did stuff like that. I think
they should do Fortress of Solitude.
Fortress of Solitude, Airbnb. That sounds kind of cool, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
I'd go there.
And I'm not so sure that everybody at Warner Brothers isn't 100% on board with him doing this as well. I think when they brought him in to be as whatever he wanted. Like they wanted the full James Gunn thing, and they think that him and his personality, his persona, and his movies, his friends, all these things will get people to the theaters. So we see him doing these things, and sometimes we roll our eyes that he's in the Entertainment Weekly thing, in the phone booth with them and all that stuff. I think Warner Brothers knew exactly what they were getting into. Whether it's a good idea or not is completely something different. But I think he's doing what they wanted him to do with it and making himself.
Yeah, if they didn't want him to do this, I mean, he is the co-head of DC, and he does not handle like the business aspect. He handles the creative aspect, and he, Peter Safran handles all the dollars and cents. So I think they're completely fine. Warner Brothers is dumb. So I wouldn't they're just a dumb company. Like that's been proven time and time again. Zaslav got his pay cut. I blame Black Snake for that 100%. I know that's not the reason, but that's the reason I'd like it to be. He doesn't deserve any fucking money because he runs that. But he knows he's doing this. This doesn't come off cool though. Especially this better be a fucking great movie at this point.
Yeah, it better be. As much as you plastered your name and imagery all over every aspect.
All over it. Yeah. So
I feel like I've seen James Gunn more than Superman.
Well, and they in the interview, he's like, well, they ask him directly, like, the future of Warner Brothers kind of rides on this. He's, I deny that, and I'm paraphrasing here, but we don't need a home run. It's okay to have a double. And I'm like, on your first movie, no. And then he compares it to Iron Man, right? And he's all, Iron Man wasn't the be all end all. And actually it was. Iron Man was the be all end all for that summer. That's the one thing everybody was talking about that led to the greatest movie franchise that we'll ever see in our lifetime until it died. But it was, and it still is, and it'll never be beat. So yeah, you kind of need this to be a home run, and you're not helping it by putting yourself in front of Superman. You're just not. So how do you face that kind of pressure? Really, I just go, that's their business because that's not the truth for me. My truth is this is the first movie out of DC. My truth. Other people may say it's got to be a home run or nothing else. I'm like, no, I'd be happy with a double. Fucking Iron Man wasn't the be all end all. It wasn't Avatar. No, Iron Man's better than Avatar. Okay, fuck Avatar. Yeah, I know it makes a lot of money, but fuck it.
Well, that's the point, though. It's kind of going, it wasn't the biggest movie ever. It's like, well, nothing else is. But you say it's not it's a piece of the puzzle, but it also determines the entire size of the puzzle. Yeah. So it's massively important for all the rest of the puzzle.
Well, and that's the thing.
If Iron Man wasn't a success, if Iron Man wasn't a success, we wouldn't have the MCU. Yeah. So it was a success. If it was a double or a middling success, we wouldn't have all this other stuff.
Yoda.
Iron Man was.
Yoda, because hang on, this is why he fails, because of what he says here. We are not doing something that's a piece of a puzzle. It's not the puzzle itself. There shouldn't be a fucking puzzle at all. There should be Superman.
Sorry. That is the most retarded thing I think I've ever fucking heard. Because if Superman isn't a fucking piece of the puzzle that works, then guess what, Sunshine? None of it's gonna fucking work. Because
he's already had
biggest. Yep. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go back to fucking Batman again because you can't do that right now because everything's fucking up in the air. So that's all you've got. So you're saying, so if Superman doesn't fucking fit, then you're gonna say that Supergirl's gonna, that'll take up all of that. Fuck off, mate. This is stupid. This is the
lowering
stupidest fucking thing.
expectations.
The thing that Iron Man was really, really good. It was a great
Yep.
film.
Mhm.
And just with what Az was saying is that if you start off with a really great foundation, that guides the other films in the franchise to try and take point off of that. But if this film fails, if Superman is dog crap, that potentially will ruin the entire plan that they have for this DC.
Oh yeah, they basically aborted before it even starts.
So I guess here's where I see when I'm looking at this. I do think there's ways you can look at it. So if this thing makes $1.3 billion, that would be the home run, right?
Yeah.
That would be our idea of a home run. Now, when you look at, we just got done talking about Iron Man, and the thing about Iron Man was it was really fucking good and got a lot of people interested and invested in wanting more of it. The Dark Knight made $1 billion that same fucking summer. Okay.
Yep.
Superhero movie, Batman, Iron Man, differences there, but still, Iron Man didn't even make 600 million. Dark Knight makes $1 billion. Nevertheless, Iron Man got people very invested in the future. So even though it didn't hit the $1 billion mark, it made the MCU. So I do think there's ways you could look at it where if this movie comes in, say this movie makes $800 million, would that be enough for it to be profitable or not? Not sure about that based on the numbers that we have. But if there was a lot of good word of mouth, if it got people who were maybe doubting before to get back to the theater and watch it and give it a chance, and maybe more people after hearing that would give it a chance again, then you do have the baseline or the base for a successful potential franchise to build.
Right.
Now,
okay.
If it makes $600 million and doesn't even make what Man of Steel made 13 fucking years ago, then you have a huge problem on your hands.
Unless the critical reception is super, super good, and you can bank a lot on people coming back to see it.
Critical audience,
that'll be.
I
mean,
but
ideally, you want
Superman
both.
does 800 million, right? And you think that's a foundation to build on? I don't think so, because you look at Deadpool Wolverine, it does 1.4 billion at the box office. And that's a film that came back, 8 years after Deadpool 2, 7 years after Deadpool 2. So if your Superman is doing 800, which is pretty much the same as the Batman, which was 775, and what's happened with the Batman? Nothing.
Well,
I think a lot of it is because of the
comparing this
DC
thing to Endgame.
restart.
That's what fucked the DC EU as a whole to start with. Is they were fucking obsessed with that. They didn't want to take their time to build. They were comparing all their shit to the Avengers team up movies instead of how the MCU was built as a whole. One of the things that screwed it, right? And executives immediately wanted to push this and this and this, and we got what we got. Marvel's in really bad shape. DC, out of the 11 movies that they've released in the past 5 fucking years, one of them has been profitable, and that is the Batman. That's the biggest one with $750 million, whatever that was. So I do think that if they can put out I don't know if it would make money at 800 million based on the budget. I doubt it would. But
I doubt
from a public perception standpoint and getting fans to maybe think there's something worthwhile again, I think they might view that internally as okay.
Absolutely.
I would agree if the follow-up film was Batman, but the follow-up movie is Supergirl.
Well, and that's not going to help it. I don't know how much that's going to help it, even if Superman is good.
Yeah, the only reason why it's a follow-up movie too is because the script is done.
Well, yes. So I think honestly, I think that Man of Steel number is the barrier. I really do think it's the barrier for a lot of reasons. Like, it makes sense at $700-something million plus. You're going to get compared to it, and it's not going to be just Snyder Bros. It's going to be absolutely everybody on planet Earth.
Yeah. But also with Man of Steel, even with that number, you have to remember that ticket prices are very different back then.
Yeah.
So even if you hit that same number, I mean, in today's dollars, Man of Steel is $929 million.
And that's
right.
Part of the price.
Yes.
But we're talking from the normie general people, the idea that because we know inflation absolutely matters. It matters what your budget is on these movies. It matters how many tickets you're selling. All that stuff matters. However, grand scheme of things, for the headlines that are coming out, if you don't beat Man of Steel, right? Man of Steel opening weekend was 116 million. In today's dollars, it would be like 158 million. Okay. If they don't beat that opening weekend, after everything they did to Henry Cavill, after the new James Gunn, this is what we're doing, and you can't beat it, they are going to get fucking dragged.
They're going to get made fun of a lot. Yeah.
Remember, James Gunn was announced as the head of the DC, 2.5 years ago.
With great fanfare.
And we got 2 fucking scripts.
That's it?
And it's a TV show.
A lot of talk. We got things that they're planning things. My favorite thing hasn't been announced
But look
yet.
how great his hair
He's
looks.
writing a script.
Well,
He's going to turn it in next month.
I don't. So I think they should be fucking cautious.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of things are hinging on the success of this movie. I think if this movie fucking flops, a week later, we're going to hear that the Batman 2 is full on in production.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I think that might be right.
For success,
I think we're going to hear that.
Maybe I'd actually be interested
in production, right?
Actually, we're fast tracking it now.
Yes.
Matt
Reynolds
handed in an absolute
They're already
right
setting
in
that
the
up.
script.
That's what this James Gunn interview was about. It was him backtracking a little bit. I would be okay with a double. And then we have the projections going lower and lower. And then,
we'll get to
then
that
now
in
there's
just a second.
Batman. Now there's Batman news. He's getting a script ready. It's going to be next month.
No,
He's
the
got
Batman news
scene.
is all like it came out a few hours ago. James Gunn says, "I am irritated by people who keep asking me about the script." That's just the way it is. He doesn't owe you something just because you like his movie.
He said
about it.
He said Matt Reeves. He said Matt Reeves is slow. He straight up said he
Get off his nuts.
Yeah.
But you know what that is? That's him. Oh shit! That's him talking about the movie. That's him going.
Are you
Look at
in
all
a
the people that are
closet?
asking for this.
Are you hiding in a closet?
I'm
Put her
holding
back
my
in the
new
closet.
babies, my reborn babies.
Yeah.
To Ryan's point, I was saying that the Batman is a fallback. I feel a very interesting point, because one of the things that a movie needs to launch a cinematic universe, what Iron Man achieved, is that you don't just like the character, you get engrossed in the universe, the world. You want to see other characters in that world. The Batman, especially with the Penguin, that has done that for me. I want to see more characters in that world.
Absolutely.
And I'm interested to see that fleshed out and more characters brought in. And so they do have an interesting contingency there. That's kind of primed, ready to.
Yeah, that's why they don't dump it. I mean, that's why they haven't dumped it yet, because it is a plan B, like 100%.
I
But
still think they should do the entire thing. Obviously, not just like the CW did, but in that vein where everyone gets their own movies thing and it's all treated as separate properties, and then occasionally they come together to do a team up, and then they separate off. That way, one isn't reliant on the other thing to do the other thing. You're not swapping all
well,
over
they
the
set
place.
up the Avengers originally. I mean, we'll go back to Iron Man. What made Iron Man work? Robert Downey Jr. was great casting.
Yep.
The costume looked
Solid
like Iron
movie.
Man. They used it was a smaller movie. They used Iron Man characters. Nobody had heard of any of them outside of comics. Nobody heard of fucking Pepper Potts. Nobody heard of Rhodey. None of that stuff. Obadiah, like nobody. Ironmonger. They're like, what? But it worked because, and they didn't even have a finished script. That's what led to Marvel having, like, there's the Marvel, there's the Marvel method in comics, and they had a Marvel method in MCU, which was we'll just make up the script as it goes. And if you read that book that mentioned the MCU from a couple of years ago, they said that's kind of how we did things because it worked that for so long. But they weren't planning a universe. They threw in Nick Fury and let's see if it works. That's pretty much what they did. And they pulled for Hulk, they pulled the Tony Stark footage in later, right? And Hulk wasn't a big success.
Nope.
It wasn't it didn't make a ton of money, and the CGI looked a little shocky, although now that we look back on it, they had a better Bruce Banner by 1,000%, 1,000 times. But and I don't hate the movie, but it wasn't a success like Iron Man. They just kept it simple. They kept it, and that's what Superman should have been. And if we really want to get away from this multiverse shit and crossing over and everything, you start with a simple. Superman doesn't need other superheroes. He just doesn't. I don't mind seeing Guy Gardner. I'm fine with that, but like it doesn't need it.
Well, a Guy Gardner that's 20 years too old.
And how many? Right? What? Like he shouldn't be in there. Like at all, like none of Mr. Terrific. I'm fine with seeing Mr. Terrific someday or a JSA someday, but not like that's not how you. How many planned cinematic universes have worked since Marvel? There's been a ton of them.
Yeah, the dark cinematic universe that they tried, the Mummy and Dracula Untold.
Spider-Man, Sinister Six, failed.
The DCU
up until this year, John Wick was, but then Ballerina came out.
No, it wasn't a cinematic universe because
what you mean by cinematic universe.
Yeah,
John Wick film.
anything that gets away from John Wick fails because John Wick is a Keanu Reeves franchise.
Yeah,
There's a hint in the fucking name, John Wick.
Yeah, like that wasn't to me. That's not a cinematic universe. That's just sequels,
John Wick
right?
films. Yes.
And it wasn't planned. It wasn't from like the start that we're planning to make multiple movies that are all going to be connected, that they're all going to make a big franchise. Every single time they've tried to do that, including Marvel. Marvel didn't try to do that, like from the very beginning. Like they didn't open up going, this is going to be a massive connected universe forevermore. They started with the Hulk.
I want to let you know.
Then Iron Man.
Yeah.
Garrett, I want to let you know that every time you fucking talk, about 5 seconds into it, you cut out for like 2 seconds, and we all just sit here and wait for it to catch up.
Yeah.
It's probably nothing you can do, but I just want you to be aware of it.
I wanted him to go the whole show without knowing. Right?
So whenever you talk, just time it really well.
Yeah,
so
just time
catch all of it. Yeah, every 5
Then
seconds.
you can
just
catch up
pause
like
for 30
this.
seconds. Yeah.
Just pretend you're in the you're doing a
See you guys
quartering
later.
video. Hello,
It's me.
it's me, Jeremy.
I do think, look, I think that if in this world where Superman is a crazy good movie and it does super well at the box office, a lot of people are excited. I think we get away. We already had a couple of things that we're told were going in production in some of these James Gunn interviews. I think we get a wave of true green lights for this stuff and hiring directors and all of these things. Let's face it, Warner Brothers is in a bad place as a fucking company. They just split their company into two separate companies so they could put a lot of their debt into one part of the company and try to salvage the other part. There might be bought out, maybe another merger in the works. Who knows?
Sony rumor?
Yes. I think that they are waiting to see what happens before they make really any huge investments in this future. Because if this ain't bombs, I think we are getting a fast track of the Batman 2, and we're not going to hear anything about James Gunn's Batman Brave and the Bold for a long, long time.
Yep.
The Brave, he confirmed again. He confirmed that the Brave and the Bold is still the title for the.
I want a Batman 2, and so that's kind of
Me
making
too,
me
yeah.
want it to bomb.
Yeah,
but I want it to be good.
Yeah. Is it worth Superman crashing and burning just so I could maybe just ensure that I at least get a Batman 2, which I'm somewhat interested in?
Other interesting things from the article. As Garrett leaves us, and he'll come.
Oh, did I shame him into leaving?
No.
He'd been talking
Yeah.
that time.
He had to crack the closet door open.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's no point to talk. I'll just go in the back. I'll run the show from the back.
Well,
Did it do it again? Did the
that time
motherfucker do it again?
No, you sound
No,
fine
it's
now.
fine now.
No, it's too late. It's too late.
We're just used to waiting after you're done talking to see if you're still going. That's why.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. If it starts, okay, fine. Where was
Is
I?
there any more black people here that you'd like to scare away,
Shit.
Ryan?
Man,
Yeah. Does anyone have a black grandparent?
it's like a sheet of white
Please
paper up
apply
here. Jesus
below.
Christ, that's no way to celebrate Juneteenth. Juneteenth Boxing Day. That's what it is.
Belated Juneteenth. Perfect.
What'd you do?
I put out a video about Black James Bond and I wrote it.
Yeah, we'll talk about Black James Bond.
Right.
Attaboy.
This has made me have a very odd question. I'm now looking at everyone wondering who is the next most black person here.
Me.
Oh, me.
Me.
That is a fight for
Hey,
it.
No,
look,
I am-
look,
no,
as
no,
3
no,
a.m.
no.
Waffle
I-
House on JFK.
I am the blackest person here. I've been to prison.
No,
that's
I'm
great.
actually pretty black. My dad was killed by a homicide, so that's pretty
Wow.
black.
Yeah.
I have some Canary Islands.
you had
He
one.
was in
That's
your
about it.
life, so that's kind of that
All I
doesn't
know-
Yeah, and he
All I
actually
know
liked you.
is that I'd be the last person. I'm like the whitest guy in the world. So
It
I'm
depends
an
on your
Australian
memory.
Mormon.
Prison time, it's
Yeah,
Gary.
you got deported, Chad.
If it's being really loud in public places, it's probably me. There's
I
a
don't
lot
know,
of
Ryan. I'll
ways to
fight
measure
you for that.
I think
It might be a tie between Az.
I've been in public places with both of you, and it's a tie. Okay. But I have, you know what? I haven't ordered fast food with Ryan, so
Okay.
there's that. That
What
might
did
that
we
might put him
order?
over the edge. We didn't order fast food. I think we got like. Oh, we went to the pub. We went to that
Yeah, we
pub,
went to the
that
pub,
lovely
yeah.
pub, and it was really good. It was really good. The pub with the hotel with the giant fucking with Shelob spiders running around in the bedroom. Jesus,
no.
they're like this big, dude. I was like, damn.
Every year I have to fight.
where
for
is
the-
this in
my
America? Don't
No,
talk
this
to
is-
me about
this-
spiders.
This was in Northern England. No, No, you got Shad. You win on spiders. Australia wins on spiders. Maybe if you sent the spiders to fight the emus, you would have won. But you didn't.
Spiders in Australia fucking
The
smoke.
treacherous bastards fought with it.
Yeah, mate.
That's right. But to positive thing, James Gunn. If you read, I kind of recommend you read it because he does talk about his cancellation, how it affected him, and how he found out who his friends were. Now,
really, the guy who said I like little boys touching me in my funny place was sad that people thought that was a bit fucking weird.
No, the way they frame it in the article is even worse because they go, right-wing people found some old tweets. It's okay. Why did right-wing people find the old tweets? Do we know why? There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
There's a reason for it. No, he was going but I mean he was going with his like massive TDS. And remember afterwards, after he got canceled, and like he wasn't really canceled, he was going to get rehired like immediately. I'm sure they even had a conversation, which was, we're just going to fire you for a little bit, and then we'll bring you back just to make things look something they wouldn't have done for, say, Gina Carano, by the way, whose tweets weren't anywhere near as bad as his. And even if you want to side that was jokes, even if you want to think those were just jokes, well, James Gunn, you put a jacket on yourself that you're never going to lose. Like that is what people are going to see you as forever because of those edgy jokes. So, you get that. But he talked about like that's what his transformation was and made him able to write Superman.
Oh boy!
So he had some kind of spiritual awakening after that, and he gets into that. The good stuff that he said though was, he talked about Superman Legacy and how like that was. He talked about, well, I came up with the title, but I dropped it because it was kind of lame. He basically said, and it's what we brought up immediately. Like, why would you call it Legacy? That makes it sound like he's gonna die. That makes it sound like he's going to die, and especially since you're basing it on All-Star Superman.
Yeah, as the first movie, to call it Legacy is odd.
Stupid.
It's like saying Superman Returns as the first movie in the franchise.
Yeah.
Well, they also did like they just recently renamed Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, to just Supergirl as well.
Yeah. James Gunn.
That is an improvement.
James Gunn's the director's Supergirl.
He wasn't on the set at all for that, he said. So he's not.
Doesn't matter.
Thrilled to hear there was a set.
Yes. Who's directing Supergirl? I can't even remember. Anybody?
Rhaenyra Targaryen.
That's
what?
it. Okay. Yeah.
That's for Game of Thrones.
Doris Day.
Craig Gillespie.
I know it's based on a Tom King story, so I'm not super excited about it.
It's Millie Alcock. She's playing the thing. I can't help but like every time I think of her, I think of I don't remember who said it. It was when we were talking about House of the Dragons, one of the follow-up things. I can't remember if it was you, Ryan, that said it. That she's good looking, but she has this kind of weird look to her that matches the character in House of Dragon. And I can't remember if it was you that said this, Ryan. I don't even want to repeat it.
Hold on.
Well, now that you pinned it on Ryan, go ahead. Say
it. Pin it on. Yeah, say it now.
I did something about the older actress who played Rhaenyra because I said it looks good because she looks like the younger version, but she got like kicked in the face by a mule or something, and I think it works.
It was either you or Gary. Someone said that Millie Alcock looks a little inbred, and she suited the role as a result.
I like how you snuck in Gary to blame that on as well. Just at the end there.
It would work.
Targaryen,
and I didn't say any of that shit.
I couldn't help it. Like think.
I mean, I'd admit to it if I did.
I've been saying that about.
I don't want to take credit for somebody else's work.
I've been saying that about Ramsey for forever. Like her face, that fucked up face she's got, that works in something like Game of Thrones when she plays little Lyanna Mormont. Whatever, it looks like she could exist in this disgusting fucking world where people do probably fuck their cousins and aunts all the time, but not in really anything.
I think it's good casting for Supergirl. I just think basing it on a Tom King story is fucking stupid. So I think it's good casting for Supergirl. But
I think the elephant in the room is this really
Tom King.
The best choice for the second film?
For the second, no, it's not. It's clearly not. It's not, and it's because they couldn't make Batman. But there's we haven't seen a DC movie version of Green Arrow yet.
Oh, that could be good. Yeah.
You know, I'd think a Green
and you
Arrow
could have
before.
Green Arrow and Black Canary together. That would be great.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
And that's just off the top of my head. There's a lot of other characters I would have chosen before bring Supergirl in by all means at some point. The second movie, strange choice, but it's better than the Authority.
Yes,
yeah, but go to Ryan's. Let's go back to Ryan's point, right? Let's say Superman does do decent numbers. Let's say 900 mil. So it's sort of that gray area between. It's going to make a little profit, possibly. So let's say it makes 900 mil, which is a decent number, and it gets a bit of goodwill. We get Tom King Mummy Issues film number 2, where every man's just going to cry.
The story is True Grit.
Fucking cry, and she's just going to be the fucking dominant mummy. You could get rid of all that goodwill in one fucking film.
You might get that in Superman, though, with the comments about how Superman's strength is he's scared.
He cries. That's what
makes him powerful. I'm like, sorry.
Yeah.
I think they talked about
nearly as much as you guys did on fucking social media. Like, Superman is human, right?
He's vulnerable as a human. With human emotions. He always has been, and that's what Lex uses against him all the fucking time.
Right.
But
I think he screams up to his fucking
But if you read the article, it's not like he doesn't necessarily say Superman's a crying little baby. He doesn't say that at all.
Did you see the clip?
And he
also
he
says it in the clip.
But he's saying that off screen. I think he's talking to Lois about that.
Yeah. So in the article that I read, what I don't know, but I'm just trying to be fair to the guy because we're going off of he said a lot of shit and he's done himself no favors at all. But when he's talking about Superman and how he can write, he was trying to convince people that he can write him now because he admitted I couldn't write him before. I couldn't crack him before. I was a big old edgelord. He's all now my edges are softer and I can write Superman. But you're not going to like what he said, what inspired him. And the first thing he wrote was crypto. They're like, what made you crack Superman? And he said crypto.
That's a strange
entire interview with a pet magazine.
It's done. If that is it, this film is done. I've lost all hope.
Then I learned he's got a dog.
Now it's gone.
In the interviews, he's saying some stuff that I like. I don't mind him hearing the feedback on Superman Legacy and hearing that stupid and go, yeah, it's stupid. Drop it. I'm like, that's good. You're listening to people. They got rid of Wonky Eye from the trailer. You're listening to people. That's good. You're not sticking with it and being stupid.
Yeah, Gary, 2 seconds though, mate. In all fairness, this is the guy who's helming the fucking projects. This is the guy who's helming the universe. This is the guy who says, I know how to fucking crack the code. And he's fucking blinking because he's fucking seeing everything he's doing fucking wrong. I wouldn't say that's personally a good thing.
If you're doing shit wrong and you listen to people and you fix it, that's what they did for Sonic. Yeah. And we were fine with that.
Sonic was a huge fucking thing, though, because it was Sonic, right?
Let me explain why this is a problem to me, right? The core of Superman is not crypto. Superman has been able to stand on his own for many films already, many stories and stuff. This is a concern to me because I'm already on record saying I think crypto is stupid and shouldn't be adapted into live action. But to say that this is the core of the character that made him unlock it is how much do you not understand Superman if this is your way to understanding it?
On a story level, what cracked Superman for you? It was crypto.
A dog.
See, it should be, I don't know, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Superman. Would that be...
Hey,
thing that Superman for you?
I have a dog. I can relate to the character now. That's what it sounds like to me.
They're kind of pulling dog lovers.
Would it have been worse if instead of saying it was crypto and all this bullshit, would it have been worse if he was like, well, really, after what I went through with my attempted cancellation and the way I persevered, I really saw a lot of myself in the character, and that's what broke it through for me.
I'm gonna have Superman.
That's when it kind of comes. There's a part in the article it kind of comes off like that. Okay, so he talks about being able to crack Superman after his cancellation as opposed to pre. So the beginning of this movie is the first thing I wrote with Crypto coming to Superman in the snow and Crypto taking him home. There really was about the tone of the whole movie. It's a flying dog who wears a cape, but that led immediately to the robots, to the fortress rising from the ground, to the device. that isn't in the comics, the giant magnifying glass, which powers him up more quickly than just the regular sun would. Bringing all those elements into Superman movie is the way that it hasn't happened. So the one thing he talks about a lot is he's like leaning into a lot of the Silver Age stuff.
That didn't answer the question.
No.
Why did Crypto crash Superman? He didn't.
Crypto
was
describing Crypto as
other stuff, but he didn't say
yeah,
what
it's
was
a
about the
narrative
dog
element.
Exactly.
Like,
he hasn't brought anything new, right? The magnifying glass focuses the sun like you would an ant, and you burn the ants, and it focuses into him, and he gets the regenerative power from the sun. Got it, right? Do you know what else people have done? They just had him fly up to the fucking top. That's how they did it before.
Stand out in the sun.
By the way, it's a much better visual of Superman flying up into the atmosphere and fucking absorbing the sun from there, where you can see space and the fucking sun and the earth and all that have been held by a bunch of fucking CGI robots.
And they're like, sorry, it's cloudy at the moment.
Yeah.
If the answer to this question of Crypto being the key behind figuring out Superman was something along the lines of Crypto was the answer because I saw in the relationship between Crypto and Superman the fact that Superman had this weaker, smaller creature that he felt this like endearment and like stewardship over in the same way that he might feel towards Earth and, you know, human beings, and they're weaker and he has to watch out over them. That would be like, okay, I kind of see like what you mean there. There's some kind of a parallel, but he only describes Crypto here lightly, just as like an objective part of a narrative. There's no reason for it to be Crypto. It could have been another random superhero. It could have been another random person. It could have been a coincidental event. That's how he's describing Crypto.
He's
which is odd.
He's latching on to the ornamental periphery things about Superman and completely missing the core. Here's a shocker, right? To write Superman, you need to believe in the same values as Superman.
Yes.
Right? If you do
Absolutely.
not
At
believe
least
in the same
understand
values,
them.
or at the very least, I think the writer, if they believe in those same values, they'll be able to put the heart into, because Superman's supposed to believe and exemplify these higher ideals. And if the writer does that, it'll get it through to the character. That's why I think Hollywood has such a problem with Superman, because I don't think a lot of the people in Hollywood has those values. Where is the American way in the tagline? Truth, justice, and the American way. If you don't believe in the American way, you're going to write a crap Superman. And the fact that he's trying to define the core as all these periphery external things without latching on to what Superman is about, I've basically lost all hope now.
A lot of people in Hollywood, they hate America, and that's the reason why they can't do truth, justice, and American way, which is why they can't do
because they don't believe in America. They don't believe in the American way. This is a Kansas boy. He can't get more American. He's the breadbasket of America, brought up by two fucking farmers.
Or you should at least be talented enough as a writer to understand it.
Do you think they're focusing on the dog to attract maybe kids? Someone in the chat.
It's a manipulation. It's a very basic manipulation technique.
It's Baby Yoda.
That you empathize towards the animal much more than you do humans. So it tricks you into pretending that you're like Superman.
It's kids and women. They're trying to get kids and women into the theater, and it's probably going to work. Every time CGI Crypto hits the screen, oh my god, look at that little dog.
The super dog. He cleans his own poopies.
But I think when you're on about like what is important and the core of Superman,
deadly.
I think the core of Superman is what they're showing you, and it will be that conversation with Lois where he's saying he's scared, but he's still really strong because of it, because he's going through all the emotions. It's going to be the interplay between those, which form essentially, well, I'm doing it all for love, and then he just flies off because she was there to tell him that he could do it. I think you're going to end up with a CW moment. It's like, I can't do it. She's like, yes, you can, and then he suddenly can do it all of a sudden. It's going to be really.
Because you've got a woman in front of you, so you can do it. Oh, okay.
I guess it depends on how they play it off. If it's like, oh, love is inspiring me, or my desire to protect is inspiring me, or something. I guess we'll see. It feels like one of those scenes where it's almost like the make or break thematically of the film. If they do it well somehow, then the film will, be all the better for it. But if they mess up with it, then it'll just sort of taint the entire project.
Yes, and the balance of Lois is you don't need to make her an insufferable bitch. She's already tough, all right? She's built that way in the comic books. We all understand that. Even going back to Margot Kidder, I know that Yellow Flash tweeted that scene going around where she's interviewing.
Yeah,
that's fucking great. She's not a dummy. Like she's and like it's not turning her up to 11. Will he be able to do that? And like that one clip, I'm not convinced.
Well,
I'm not
Rachel
convinced.
Boseman is, to me, is the person who's doing the best PR out of anybody.
Rachel Brosnahan, I believe is who.
Fucking
Chad
going to be the next Bond.
Hang on, as the best PR. Yeah, you talk. Are you talking about the shot? Is that the best PR? The suit when she's wearing that dress?
Oh, yes.
No.
when she's talking, she's kind of like saying all the right things to me in terms of marketing for the film. And every time you hear something from her, you're like, yeah, she's like, yeah, it's she's very upbeat about it. It's for the fans, all this kind of stuff. She's not bringing anything divisive in whatsoever. And then you got fucking James Gunn plastered over everything, acting like a complete fucking tool. Like the man doesn't have a clue what he's fucking doing. Oh, yeah, I'm second guessing everything. I'm changing my mind of everything. Oh, I know I said this in interview, but really what I meant was this. Let me just...
well, he's a liar. We know that.
Yeah, he's just full of shit.
He's lied a lot. That's why him being so in front of this, and maybe that's part of the philosophy is like, let me take all the daggers, and that keeps it off the actors. Whatever it is, he's going to take them now. So he better be ready for him. And in the article, he admits he liked upsetting people. And I'm like, we're not talking about years and years ago. Like a couple of years ago, he was like, no, I really tried to antagonize people.
Wow.
He was
not a smart move.
When he got announced as the head, he was going to war on Twitter with people. He was like calling them all sorts of fucking names.
He's going after Grace. He went after Grace Randolph.
Randolph? Really?
That's funny. He
Well,
did.
You can't pick on the disabled like that.
I just pull out the popcorn at that point and just go, yes.
Oh, yeah.
As you may have heard, I'm trying to think of how to say this best. I don't mind it. I think it's good. I think you don't want to be, you don't want to have everybody root for you. And I have an actor who reads everything online. So do you, James. Come on, stop it. I won't say who it is, but he'll read this article and he'll know who it is. He'll read this article and know who it is. It's one of the top 5 in Superman. David Cornsweet, maybe. It's a dude. And this actor gets so upset over everything people say. I said, first of all, you realize that the trailer came out and the reaction was, and he's right, 97.98% positive. These people help us because you don't want everything to seem 100% positive. It's all right to have an opposing force every once in a while. Some of those things get ridiculous. I just know that every time something comes out, it doesn't matter how positively received, there's going to be something that is of great controversy. It was great controversy that the sun caused Superman pain. I wouldn't say it's great controversy. I would say what's more of a controversy is saying that your favorite thing in the DC universe hasn't been made yet, right before your Superman movie.
Is it because he gets sunburned easily?
That's it. James Gunn teases his favorite DCU project has not been announced yet. So apparently it's not Superman.
What a stupid thing to say.
This is worse than a teaser for or an announcement for a teaser of a teaser.
I know, right?
Like, I've got something really amazing, but I can't say anything about it, but it's going to be great.
It's like
this
28
is something...
years later, there's a start and there's a finish and there's something in between that shouldn't even fucking be there.
I think I'm going to agree with you on that one.
Well, I mean, this is the kind of thing that you say like a year after your Superman film comes out and it does gangbusters and everyone loves it and you can get away with saying this kind of thing. Like, you won't believe what happens next, guys. It's not even my favorite one. And everyone goes, ooh, what could it be? You don't say this before the film comes out.
No, this just reads like, oh, so if it fails, we'll know why. You never cared about it in the first place. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's better
strange,
than saying they're all my favorite.
All the Star Wars. and yes, he threw shade at Marvel, which he just worked at, saying that
maybe
we are going to
Flash 2.
What was that?
Maybe it's a Flash 2. That was
maybe
superhero movie of all time.
Speaking of the truth teller, James Gunn. Hey, same cinematographer as Ryan pointed out, and it looks very similar in some stuff. But I'd say at least with Superman, I mean, James Gunn's going to get criticized for his behavior, which he deserves. But at least we're discussing like points of the film and nerd shit and getting Superman right instead of a black, Blackmail Lois Lane.
You can't pause after you say that, by the way.
I really wanted to know where you were going. Apart from black people being
Black, fill in the
black.
Just the end. You were like, wait,
Instead of a black.
What do you mean Crypto's a Rottweiler?
Was a point in time where we could have got a Black Superman movie, so there's that.
It's still in the works, apparently.
It's still in the works.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? I thought they canceled that shit.
Of course it is. Of course it's cancelled. But James Gunn said what about a year ago? He said, "Oh, it's still there. It's still
Jar Jar Abrams,
still there.
Ta-Nehisi Coates.
That's his favorite.
Yeah.
Isn't there already a black Superman with steel? Like, well, is that what they're doing?
Wait, he's not Superman. He's Steel.
Yeah.
I know, but it's got the S.
Steel.
So to normies, they'll just think, "Oh, black Superman."
Dude, I'm bold. I'm not
Hancock,
Professor fucking X.
You sure?
Now I want you to play Professor X.
Or am I?
Yeah, you've got that stuck in my head now. I'd love to see you in the
That's
role.
like walking into a shop and going, I'm not going to nick anything. It's like, wait, nobody thought you were until you announced that.
Now you're under suspicion.
Well, it
Indeed.
depends which shop. If it's in San Francisco, then you know.
Yeah, they'd be confused if you
Yeah.
didn't.
Are you sure you don't want to?
Magneto, you're boring.
Hey, speaking of Magneto, did you find that article? Oh, you're looking at Superman stuff. I'm talking to Garrett, by the way, not you. You know what I'm thinking already. You can walk.
Gary, please.
Yeah.
It
You
turns
should hear
out
what it's got to say about the game.
you're like, you can walk. Turns out Professor X was just committing like disability.
I'm a level
fraud.
5 mutant who can see anything except for Scarlet Witch sneaking up behind me to break my neck.
We took some photographs of Professor X playing football on Saturday.
Professor, can't you
For
just
his local
telekinesis to
team.
move your legs? No.
what
It
takes it.
doesn't
Tell
work like
Magneto
that. It doesn't
takes
work
him
like
out.
that.
So this is from Variety. Was it who is it? RMB predicted that Secret Wars might be split into two. I totally agree with him on that. I think it could happen. A Secret Wars Part 1 and 2. I think it could happen. Secret Wars is meant to be the finale of the multiverse saga and the finale of Marvel. After which Marvel is expected to pivot to a saga centered around characters inherited in Disney's 2019 $72 billion acquisition of 20th Century Fox. Where did all that money go? Where'd they hide that? $72 billion.
in a money laundering scheme.
Yeah.
It's like a 20th of what they paid for Star Wars. Almost.
See, this is where you miss coked up Hollywood. You know,
Yeah.
coke over woke, because like you could hide. Did you hear the guy, the producer, telling the story of Popeye, where they will be they send film canisters back for dailies and stuff, and they would send it back to the set filled with coke. Yeah, the guy said it was the most coked up set in the history of Hollywood, and if you watch the movie, yes. Anyway, Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier. Thunderbolts, the movie that flopped, that is now called The New Avengers, or no, they labeled it on the 4K Blu-ray. It's Thunderbolts asterisk New Avengers asterisk.
Nobody cares.
That was always a confusing marketing that they should just
gonna
not
fly
have
off the
gone with.
shelves.
Yeah.
Yep.
They could call it fucking My Beautiful Anus, and it still wouldn't.
It'd probably do a little better.
I would see it.
My Beautiful Anus asterisk.
I'd get more women.
Actually,
women
just
to
a
the
blurry
movie.
close up of my veins.
Asterisk.
That's 28 years later too. They're gonna do it the other way around.
Thunderbeast,
Look,
the movie.
You're gonna see some zombie butts, okay?
No,
There you
it's
go.
the next movie going to be called 27 and a half years later to just fill in all that. That'd be great.
Jake Schreier has been tapped to helm the MCU's first mutant movie, although many actors from the Fox X-Men movies in the 2000s, including Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, please don't break Ian McKellen,
No, we love
will appear in Doomsday as CGI faces planted on somebody else's body. Mostly a stuntman. Other Marvel projects in development that could wind up opening in 2028 include the aforementioned Blade, Black Panther 3,
Uh,
and a Fantastic Four sequel.
Denzel's in Black Panther 3.
Fantastic
apparently.
Five.
And all I
Black-
saw on
yeah.
Twitter after that sentence was Blade confirmed, still making it. It's like they took the one word and ran with it.
Yeah, it's not.
This
being
was
made.
only the reason this article exists is because despite Bob Iger every year coming out and saying we're focusing on quality over quantity, we're trying not to put out as many things. We don't want to focus to put out all this stuff. They announced a 4th Marvel movie in the slate for May 2028.
If I didn't know that he had said that, and then you'd said, "Hey, Rex, can you tell me at what point in the timeline he had said the focus on quality over quantity?" I'd have been like, "I don't know, man. Is there a shift somewhere that I don't know here? I guess."
No, this is Marvel. I think it was Drinker who made the analogy, and it was good. Of the drug addict who's like, "I'm gonna quit tomorrow, man. I'm gonna finish up this stash right now, and I am gonna get sober tomorrow. So that's like we're still getting this untitled Marvel movie set for this month, and we don't like. I still don't think Doomsday can be finished by the end of next year. I think that's a tall task, man.
No.
A cast of, I'm going to be generous here and say 30 people, but it's more, right? So 30 superheroes are going to be in this. Like, how do you even make that script in a year?
No, Gary. 30 superheroes that nobody gives a shit about are going to appear in this.
Well, a lot of them.
This feels like such a desperate attempt by Marvel.
Is.
It's just like, and they don't know how to execute it. They just like, let's try and bring in as many people as possible. And now they're stuck floundering, trying to juggle everything. And it's going to be a disaster.
Well, I mean, Endgame had a lot of characters and they at least made it work. But I mean, when you throw that many characters on screen, is not everyone's going to get their time, which is going to suck. It just seems like bloat.
I think Robert Downey Jr. was the big name anyway. And so once you have him, everyone else is just a lesser name that you kind of added for no reason. People were already going to go back to see him. And then maybe for the sequel, then you start adding more names because he's already been in the previous one. But to just instantly go for everybody seems bizarre.
A legit question. And I'm really not being facetious. Which of the heroes would you like quality time with?
Well, personally,
in terms of seeing them
on
screen,
I mean, in the film on screen. Do you want Shang-Chi?
Yeah, that's Simu Liu, of course.
Obviously,
I mean, it would probably be. I mean, it'd probably be John Walker.
I want more screen time.
I mean, what the
John
biggest
Walker? Yeah,
John Walker would be my answer. But
the biggest name that's left in the MCU, if they can even use it, wouldn't that be Spider-Man still? That's their biggest,
Sony.
Yeah, but he's owned by Sony, which is why he's not appearing in that, which is why they have a Spider-Man 4 coming out a couple months before the events of Avengers Doomsday, which will be happening at the same time Avengers Doomsday takes place. So he likely won't be in the movie.
No.
Even though that would have been interesting narratively to have, that Peter Parker meet with a alternate version of Tony Stark who turned like evil or whatnot. That could have been narratively interesting, but oh well. We don't do interesting things with the multiverse.
No, Disney doesn't make money. Disney doesn't make money off Spider-Man, right? So like
25% they make.
Yeah, it's 75-25 split. Yeah,
exactly. Sony receives almost all the benefits from these massive team up. Like that's why No Way Home, it was huge and it was massive for the box office. It was massive for theaters, and maybe reputationally it's good for Marvel.
I would say so. Yeah,
that's successful, but they don't reap the benefits of a $2 billion box office. Sony reaps almost all of those benefits.
They do. Well, Thor's going to be in it, but it's like, they ruined that character.
He's
I don't even know who that guy is.
Yeah.
Wait, Thor's going to be in it? Interesting.
He's a clown. Just put a red nose on him. He's a fucking
Are you
going
to be lining up a bunch of people to die, and how are people going to respond to an evil Robert Downey Jr. as opposed to fun Tony Stark?
I can't wait to see Patrick Stewart die for the 5th fucking time as that character.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't wait to see Nazi Cap.
Oh yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, there's that too, because that's coming.
That would be a bigger problem for people than Robert Downey Jr., I think, because he's playing an entirely different character, but people will see the other guy just as Captain America.
I think so, yeah. I would say so.
Just imagine if there's a story about the rise of John Walker to the leader he should be.
Yeah, bring in Nazi Cat. That is such a bad
that would
fucking
be.
idea.
But like as your question is kind of biting, like who do you care about the MCU
exactly
now? I'm having trouble thinking of anyone currently that.
Yeah, mine is Robert Downey Jr. I just think he's a good actor, so any character he plays is what.
No, I said hero, dude. I said hero. He's the villain.
amongst the heroes, so many have been ruined or just
that's
cast
all
aside
modern
or
times,
replaced.
though. The villain is always more interesting than the hero in like all modern stuff.
Oh,
this. Oh man, this is gonna be such a
Speaking
train
of
wreck.
heroes that are actually villains.
Oh,
Speaking of Marvel being saved,
yes.
I'm feeling
Are
it.
y'all ready
I'm
for that
feeling
next
it.
week?
totally.
Thank God it's only 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, so the release schedule came out, and it's 3 episodes on the 24th and 3 episodes on the 1st, and then it's done. Long before, because otherwise it would have led right into Fantastic Four. Yeah, they're doing 3 episodes each week.
That's not very
Wait,
nice.
so this will be competing with Squid Game season 3?
Uh-oh.
Is that released the same time?
We Endanger Girl.
Around the
Yeah,
same
and,
time. Yeah.
It's like the 27th, isn't it? I think all the episodes for that.
Yeah,
drop on
Squid
the
Game is in
27th,
7
don't they?
days, so yeah.
It's about to get real busy. Like it's been dead as hell, and then it's about to get really busy for the next month, and then be dead as hell for the next 2 or 3 months. It's
Comics,
crazy.
You're right to point that title out. We Endanger? What the...
Yeah,
you are
clear.
Danger
Why is the
Girl.
person on the panel? Why do you have a
We-
problem with that, Shad?
At this point, I should say,
You've also got the past is the past.
Literal black girl magic in this.
In
show.
defense of Black Girl Magic, that is a grammatically sound dependent clause, but we endanger girl is just an aberration.
You're not on EFAP, Rags. None of us understood that.
I'm not letting it go. I don't like the destruction of our language.
Use a word that had at least
don't
3
like this
syllables,
black
and I'm
speed.
out.
You and your gooder English.
Is it as bad as Doctor Who sold ketamine though? That was,
Dude,
was
that's the
what
best
really
one.
needed to come out.
And a lot of people are pointing to the M being like overlined with red in Karma's a Glitch. That's the episode Mephisto's supposed to reveal himself.
Oh, great.
Oh.
Wow, what a
introduce
great
one of-
choice to introduce.
I know, dude. God.
Not even in the finale.
Is he gonna be the
Dude,
drag queen?
The
for that
penultimate episode.
Maybe Mephisto is the drag queen. No, it's
He can
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, man.
We found out why Sacha Baron Cohen needed to be in the show because he gave his ex-wife $75 million. So he needed,
Oh,
Wow.
no.
I'm not aware of that.
he needed a few
Oh.
bucks, an extra gig. Yeah, Isla Fisher. She
she made out.
she
like a
made out.
bandit.
Yeah,
she
she did.
crashed that wedding.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find you and your 75 million.
Wow, that's a
In your
lot.
wallet too.
So yeah, these I wouldn't like post this on the internet. I mean, it's bad enough that they're releasing it, but like promotional material, I would just not do it. I would just like quietly release it at 3 a.m, not tell anybody. Hope some YouTubers don't make as many videos and never mention it again.
I don't
Give
know
it-
if I
Give it
were
the echo treatment.
Yeah, if I were them, they're trying to do the echo treatment, basically dump it as quick as they can and forget about it because everybody would be focused on Fantastic Four after this. But what I would do is I would go on Disney-owned ABC on a massive morning show, Good Morning America, of which the people that watch that show are not going to watch fucking Ironheart.
No.
And I would pay Robert Downey Jr. an additional sum to do some marketing for us by reading a scripted comment pretending to give 2 fucks about the Ironheart show. That's what I
You
would
can
do.
see his eyes moving over the script as he's talking.
Yeah, I think that's on purpose, though. I think he wants everyone to know that I am not doing this by choice. I'm doing this for the money.
My
the
favorite
ABC
was
viewers
Find that
are just
video,
going-
Garrett.
Whoopi Goldberg said that Riri is a great thing for representation because she represents women, young women, and black
Yeah.
women. Riri represents everybody.
Okay.
Everybody is
Whoopi-
represented.
Ruppy, show us your comic book boxes. Show us
Right,
your
if they
Ironheart
show us your
collection.
tits, I was going to say, fuck no.
hang on. Did Whoopi actually say she represents everybody? Was that
It's a direct quote.
Everyone she-
this is
everyone
great
she
for
cares
representation. You represent women, young women, black women. You represent everybody.
What about
Holy
now?
crap, that woman is thick. Oh,
Yeah.
Because
She's so
don't-
dumb.
I think she just like can't really.
I would
think
love to
outside
ask a
herself,
question
what
to
it
Whoopi Goldberg. What was it like playing Guinan, one of the smartest, most beloved people in Star Trek, while also being a fucking retard in real life?
Well, that's just a credit to her that's just a credit to her acting talent.
Yeah,
she can act like
you
she's
can
smart
ask
if
that
you
of
give her-
Patrick Stewart as well.
True.
Good acting. Dumb
And Maria
actors.
Sirtis and Gates
Yes.
McFadden and LeVar Burton.
Yeah, we have the entire cast. This is why the original series is a goat, dude.
Yeah.
Think DeForest Kelly's ain't fucking saying any of that shit? Well, he's dead, but when he was alive, no. Fuck no.
Watch
He
Robert
was a
Downey
good
Jr.
Texas boy.
When Robert Downey Jr. comes on, watch his eyes moving from left to right as he's
Yes,
reading. And
he's
the way
reading.
he's speaking, especially in the first part of this hit that he does.
Interrupt the interview for just a moment because I think we have a very special message. I think you've got to recognize who this is.
Good morning, America. New studio. God, looks great. Miss Thorne, I couldn't be happier.
Could not be happier to join you on Good Morning America.
He has to be
And this is a
reminded to make
classically
heart
trained
at one
actor.
point.
What was that?
He has to be reminded to make a heart at one point because he looks over there at somebody and then he goes, "Oh, you're amazing, heart."
This is a classically trained actor who can ad lib fucking anything, and he could not even.
Oh yeah,
Look, he's coming out of his fucking heroin coma to read this out. So leave
Oh,
him
stop.
be.
Why
He's
can't
sober.
he just
No,
wing it?
They're all
No,
like
because
this.
he
It's like when
doesn't
Ewan
care.
McGregor,
The whole point is this is low effort. This is a guy who fucking ad libbed half a fucking Iron Man. He doesn't need to read this shit.
It's like, remember when they used to do all of these in their cars against the fans? They were reading it all at the same time. I think Ewan McGregor was doing it at one point. Then
Yeah.
you had the guy that did Shaun of the Dead. He was reading it in his car.
Oh, yeah, Simon Pegg. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the hood has me nervous. Is the hood green? Please tell me Mr. Ramos is not replacing me as Dr. Doom via Parker Robbins. Is there something I'm not telling me? Anyway, I don't want to step on your interview. Long story short, Iron Man loves Ironheart.
That Ramos guy, by the way, is on camera saying that his villain is the coolest villain in the entire MCU.
Of course.
So he's really thinks he cooked with that one.
Yeah, everyone knows Agatha. I don't know what he's talking about.
I look like an extra in Star Trek.
Robert Downey Jr. sounded like
You look
Gary
like
trying to read a fucking super chat. Like,
I know.
I look like Hassan Pike follower.
No, you look like Frogan.
A court case on its way to you soon.
Wow. Good Morning America. Do we have any sponsors today?
Wait, did I get tricked into showing a copyright
No.
video?
Maybe.
And then
Oopsie
going, by
doopsie.
the way, whatever you do, don't watch the original.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That is actually very, very funny.
Got him.
We're talking about the Ethan Klein stuff because we talk about that all the time here. But I watched that. It was kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
It was a little fascinating. I don't know if he's got a case, but go get him. I don't care. I don't really care. I don't understand Twitch. I was talking to Mahler about it today, and I'm like, I'm old and I do not understand Twitch. And I don't want to understand Twitch. I don't care.
Hive of Scum and Villainy. That's all you need.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bob Iger should hire you as a consultant on their reaching of video games, Gary. I've heard they're starting to become a big thing. Disney wants to get into it.
Perfect for that. I'd be perfect for being hired by Disney for that. 'Cause I wouldn't know shit. But I'd just come in and
Gary,
say,
what are
"Fuck
your favorite
everybody."
video game characters?
That's the point.
Mario?
No, I like Donkey Kong. Fuck Mario.
Jesus Christ. You can't just say that.
I can. 'Cause I played Donkey Kong before all you were born.
Wait, you want to
Mario.
fuck Donkey
Even-
Kong or like, what?
What?
Well,
I didn't even say anything close to that.
He said F Mario. He wants to F Mario.
Oh, you want to fuck Mario? God damn it.
That's way
Well, that
better.
makes sense.
Yeah, that's way better than wanting to fucking.
Taking the skin boat to Tuna Town.
Well, it's bestiality. It's just gay.
Yeah, it's totally different.
Totally different.
Wait,
And we
did
could,
you
like-
just go LGB without the T, mate? Oh my god.
Yeah, I got to drop that T. Got to drop that T. Oh, what we didn't talk about.
I think there's been a lot of tea dropped in this fucking thing.
There is an Ironheart.
Microwave tea.
Fuck off, mate.
Hey, oi.
Oi, fuck off, mate.
Oi. Superman, back to Superman. I forgot to bring up that initial box office projections from it was a box office theory, right? So I don't know how legit they are. Had it at 100 at the high end of $185 million. And I think everybody at the time was going, that's a little high. Is that worldwide? Is that domestic? And apparently it was domestic. Now it's been kind of brought down to, initially Superman is tracking to earn domestic. I thought it was higher. I thought it was
145. Yeah. Everybody has their different things, right?
Yeah.
Box Office Theory put out 140 to 185, I believe. Yeah. Others had somewhere in the middle of those, 154 to 175. And then you started seeing a 125 to 145 number a couple days after. Yeah, there it is. And then a few others have come out and said we see it a little lower than that.
Yeah, I think 125 is probably the more realistic number at the high end.
I could see it making that.
I would in the 130 range, I wouldn't be surprised. 130, 135. Look, a lot of those initial numbers that we were talking about, the opening day sales, like all that stuff, a lot of it's going to depend on what time, what other competitions available, like all these things. But it was a little bit under Thor: Love and Thunder's opening day numbers. Thor: Love and Thunder went on to make 144, 145 million in its opening weekend. So I wouldn't be surprised if Superman's in that area.
But if it hits,
I'll shit my fucking pants if it's 90 million.
If it's 90,
If it opens the same as Captain Black America: Brave New World, I don't think there's a chance in hell it's that low. But if it is, holy fuck.
I feel like I could be surprised either way, though, with this movie.
I think it's going to do about 135 around there.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised if it did 90. I would. And that would be very bad. It would be very bad. But that's what
that'd be
Deadline put up there.
It wouldn't be bad. It'd be catastrophic.
I saw somebody on my tweet yesterday. It's like, fucking asked Grok. And I'm like, my box office estimates. And I'm like, those aren't mine, dude.
Grok, what do I think?
Yeah.
What do I do?
True. Grok, should I shit my pants or use the toilet today? Jesus.
I wonder what it would have.
Tell me what I should do with my life, but use a Jamaican accent.
I do like the different accents and personalities.
Go back to school, man.
There'll be something really serious, then just give them the strangest accent possible.
Oh my God! Hang on, let's see.
Explain this serious event like Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, when Kamani gets assassinated, Jar Jar Binks Grok will be explaining all the grisly details of Massad's operation.
What?
Oh, they're going hard on the marketing for both Fantastic Four and Captain America.
I wonder who this is trying to pander to.
Oh, that's milk?
This is real? It's not a meme? Someone's... No,
they got like
blueberry
first.
No.
Why is this not a Star Wars crossover?
I apologize. I thought it was washing up liquid.
That's what I thought it was.
I thought it was
detergent.
Well,
yes.
It'll be on brand for Pedro.
I thought this was trying to appeal to women by washing detergent. You know?
No.
I did like this poster came out and someone just went, Pedro's even going to hold her hand here. Which like, you can't get away from it.
He's anxious.
I saw a lot of people responding to this, be like, "I'll take my True Move Blue Fantastic Four milk straight from Vanessa Kirby." Like,
fair enough, you know.
Straight from the tapper, not at all.
They got the Little Caesars pizza. Do you see that, Gary?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Chris ate a bunch of it. Jesus.
I kind of want some. Yeah, so I got Little Caesars right across the street.
Dude, frozen fucking gas station frozen pizza is better than Little Caesars. Dude.
It's hold on, it's not better. It's
Little
same.
Caesars is acceptable pizza at an acceptable price.
Oh my God, are we gonna have
for
people
what you pay?
Caesars,
For what you pay, it's great.
I'm not simping. I'm just being fair.
Yeah.
That picture I did see. That's
That's Chris right after he ate the pizza, and he's. And he's asking Grok if he should use the toilet or to shit his pants.
I thought Johnny Storm was making a move. You know?
I thought he took this while he was having his stroke.
I did ask Grok if I should shit my pants, and it said no need for that kind of chaos today.
Okay.
Today. It said today. I'm glad it.
Yeah. Tomorrow, maybe.
Ask again tomorrow.
Go to the core member. I just put the link in. Core member has this is probably the best promotional item from Fantastic Four. Forget the Galactus popcorn bucket.
That put you off your breakfast.
Great job, core member.
I almost thought that said Gay Gary for a minute there.
He's just sitting there
there's another
judging
one that
you.
says Gay Gary.
Wow.
Enlarge to show
Dingleberry.
texture.
The ambiguously gay duo, Ace and Gary.
Why is the cereal black and white?
It's purple.
Because it's
not black and white. It's purple.
let me bring it up.
Well,
Yeah, is it like
colorblind,
It is
but to me it's
purple.
black
It
and
is
white.
purple. It's purple, yeah.
Purple-headed warrior.
They got Fantastic Four Air Force Ones too.
Oh boy.
What?
Trump did what to the plane?
Nike shoes.
Are you sure that's
Oh,
not
I thought
like
you meant
that-
the plane.
that picture
I
of the
was-
downed fighter pilot plane in Iran that was the size of the Empire State Building?
That was like a Star Destroyer.
That was funny.
That's so good.
Build this
We
plane.
shot them down. We
It
shot
fooled
down.
people. Some people were asking Grok
course.
if it was real or not.
Those aren't bad. I mean, I wouldn't
Those
wear
are
them, but
Fine.
It's
I
like
guess.
in
Fine.
they've got
Look
some.
like Kmart trash.
wait a minute. So it's invisible, so you'll be able to see your dirty socks underneath.
Yeah, so I think they've got some that are just blue and some that are like the women's version are like invisible woman ones that are fucking.
Yeah, we get to see more
Those for
women's
Brie
feet in
Larson.
public.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Brie Larson
Show
shoes.
feet. Oh, no. Show feet.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of stuff. I hope Fantastic Four does well because there's a lot of products connected to this movie. It's insane. No box office tracking on Fantastic Four yet. Oh,
Some,
I guess we're
some,
still
like more unofficial ones, but it's
Yeah.
further away. So
yeah.
A little too far out.
It's still a little over a month.
125 to 135 was the unofficial one I saw for it, which
Yeah, it was a bit below
surprising.
Superman.
They should remake, if they're looking for a cereal, they should take Basic Four and remake it to Fantastic Four.
What's Basic Four?
What? It had nut clusters dipped in yogurt.
That could be the thing.
It was considered a fancy cereal in my house
oh,
back in the day.
Well, yeah, Oh, now that I've looked it up, I recognize the box.
Ah,
Yeah, there was a squirrel in the commercials.
I'm gonna say in the cereal. I was like,
Each
Are we sure
cereal
this is basic?
came with a
Each
squirrel.
box covers its own squirrel.
remember walking by the four-person cereal section where they just have like dog bag sized fucking things of cereal? Yeah,
That's what I ate.
Human kibble.
much.
I was on Best Buy's Weetabix. That was my jam.
Ooh.
It was like you
That
wanted
from
the
electronics
Weetabix, but the
store?
Weetabix were too expensive, so you just got wheat
The knockoff?
biscuits or whatever
Yeah.
they call it.
Considering Weetabix are just 100% wheat, that is the only ingredient. Why wouldn't you rip it up?
Wheat biscuits.
do we want to talk about
had-
Arnie's?
Frosties and then Frosted Flakes. It's like slightly
Frosted
changed
Flakes,
the name.
which are not trademarked, by the way, because it's just a description. There are off-brand Frosted Flakes called Frosted Flakes.
Over
Yeah.
here, Frosted Flakes is the off-brand one.
Yeah.
I just like regular cornflakes.
Wow, what a boring loser.
I know. Like it is super bland. I like them for some reason. I'll take them.
Really?
over Frosted Flakes.
Do you eat them with water too?
No, I eat the milk.
No, water. Calm down with water.
Well,
That
because we're
sounds
going to
really
talk
exciting.
28 years later, let's have an interesting conversation. What's everyone's favorite fucking cereal then? Going around the-
Of all time.
Okay, I
Peanut
think I
butter
know mine.
Captain Crunch,
Okay.
Fruit Loops,
Like a Charms.
plain ass cornflakes. That's my
Okay.
3.
I'm a Honey Bunches of Oats guy. I love me some Honey Bunches of
pretty good.
Oats.
Yeah.
That stuff's good.
Ooh.
See, in Australia, we have some really healthy, high-tier cereal. There's one called Just Right.
Yeah, but what do
and
you eat?
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Just Right.
Mine is Frosties.
Do you eat it? Do you eat it wrong?
No, I eat it just
Okay.
right.
Oatmeal.
I like fruit and fiber, Alpum, because it keeps you more regular.
Alpo?
Alpum.
Yes, Alpo.
Alpum. ALPEN. And it's got to be what's the one? The nut one.
Basic 4?
With like the nut clusters, the nut cluster ones.
Honey Bunches of Oats? Honey Bunches of Oats?
Glory holes. The way you put
Honey Bunches of Oats has oat clusters. Crunchy oat clusters. Yum.
With almonds.
Kellogg's Crunchy Nut Clusters. That would just be the name.
Crunchy Nut Cornflakes. Kellogg's Crunchy Nut Cornflakes.
Oh.
I know as well.
I never eat
honey
cereal,
nut
though.
clusters.
Dude, peanut butter crunch is the fucking goat.
Yes.
Okay, and then everything else, I like Honey Bunches of Oats.
And if you eat regular Captain Crunch when the peanut butter crunch is available, and you're not allergic like a fucking pussy, you're weird. Like, why would you not eat peanut butter crunch if it's available?
How can your body is allergic to this thing, you pussy? You should just consume it anyway.
Yes, you should.
I don't eat cereal anymore. You know when I used to eat a lot of cereal? When I get stoned. I get home from high school or ditching high school, which means I got home at about 10:30, and I got a big salad bowl, and I smoked a bunch of fucking bong load after bong load, and like Fruit Loops or peanut butter crunch in a big salad bowl. Watching fucking Transformers or something.
Gary, careful. Everyone was thinking
Have you ever met somebody that's got all their shit together, really cool, like role model? You look up to this person who's like allergic to fucking strawberries? No.
Ryan, what's your theory on being allergic to strawberries? By the way, I think it's really good. It's not a theory. It's.
You can get over it, okay? The reason I think it's people are developing more is because a lot of people are so fucking worried. And Chris, you just had a kid, so I'm sure you know this. They give you this laundry list of shit that you're not supposed to give your children until this age or this age or this age.
No, that's been debunked.
They're scared to death they might have an allergic reaction. And because they don't get exposed to those things, they develop allergies.
Right, and that's been debunked. You have to start giving that stuff starting at 4 months.
Ryan, as soon as they can eat solid food, they have to test with peanut butter puff to see if there's an allergic reaction.
And you got to give them peanut butter like every week.
You know what I did?
They don't develop an allergy.
Fucking peanut butter. Said he's fine.
There is why paid attention at the baby convention. They'd tell you this. They know.
There is a thing with C-sections that it doesn't get exposed to a load of bacteria in the birth canal, which is the only place you can get exposed to that thing. And there are more. They've done the stats. You do get more allergies and stuff if you're born by C-section than naturally.
Yeah.
Well, that's why when they take them out of the C-section, they turn around and dunk them back in.
They're just like shoving.
Yeah, they.
But
you ever seen a C-section, brother? I have.
No.
It's a miracle of nature.
But you can get over your allergies, especially if you have them when you're young. They do exposure therapy for kids all the time now if they do develop those, where they slowly expose them to things. They have them eat a little bit at a time while they're observed. You get over it. Because it's basically just fucking toughen up, bitch. You're being a pussy. Your body can handle it. Your body can't handle a fucking strawberry. You're allergic to grass. What the fuck is your problem?
I want a Dr. Ryan show in the works right now. I was diagnosed with cancer. Fucking man up, bitch.
You're gonna get beaten by a cell.
Depends on the cancer. If it's like skin cancer, you're probably fucking fine. All right, like.
There was a skit, something like that, where he's passed away now. He was a comedian that appeared on, well, he was originally from like The Odd Couple, but people might remember him from The Big Bang. He did some appearances. But anyway, he was like a psychiatrist. And it's like, we're not the regular psychiatrist. But anyway, go, tell me what's wrong. Well, I'm depressed. And he goes, stop! Just stop! And okay, and it was, anyway, it's a fun skit.
Yeah.
But all the longer list of people in the chat that are saying, well, I'm allergic to this, tells me a lot about you. Yes.
Right. That's right. Ryan is just, stop it. Stop being allergic, you pussy.
I do not recommend using my, I'm not giving medical advice.
Yeah, I wouldn't take, honestly, if you took medical advice from Ryan, you get what you get, okay?
You gotta get what you deserve. You
get what you deserve.
Yeah, you guys have
incorrect. but I'm not giving
the
you
kind of
advice.
cereal
You
this guy
take it
eats.
from
I mean, you're not
FNT,
gonna
you get what
listen
you're
to-
Yeah, he's like, come on, even I know better.
It reminds me of the South-
retarded.
It reminds me of the South Park episode where they're like, "Oh, how it used to be done when you were treating ADHD," and the doctor's just like smacking him in the face.
No, he's all, sit down, shut up, do your work. if you like my class, please call.
Ryan is going to outlive all of us. He's going to live to
Oh, dude,
120.
so he will. No, just
He'll
because
die
he's
tomorrow
no,
because he
bitter,
swallowed a
angry
bee
people
or
live
something.
forever. It is the ultimate punishment. Is proof there is a God. Yeah.
They live out of spite.
Unfortunately, in very good health. Yes.
So, yeah, after such a dead period of entertainment, we're getting, I mean, good and bad. We're getting what we just got 28 years later. F1's coming out. Squid Game season 3 is coming out. Ironheart's coming out. South Park season 27's coming. This is all the next month. The Fantastic Four, Superman, Jurassic Girl Boss, and which will probably do better than all of them, but it's still a Girl Boss movie. And like Strange New Worlds for me and Disparu. It's third to last season because it's been canceled, and they're just going to film season 4 and call it season 4 and 5. Which I predicted
a mini season,
which every fucking bad like Kurtzman product ends up being like it's the Netflix treatment. It's like, oh, it's getting a like Witcher.
The Witcher season 4 and 5.
Witcher season 4 and 5. It's like, oh, it's 2 seasons. We're filming them back to back, and each season's 1 episode. So.
Has that been finished yet? I've not heard anything about that in ages.
You know what? At their what the hell was it called again, Ryan? The Netflix special that they aired a couple Saturdays ago. That was Tadum. It was called Tadum.
When they do their basically Netflix Comic-Con thing.
Did they mention The Witcher at all?
Not that I remember, actually.
Because it is coming out this year.
Wow.
Really?
But they didn't mention it in their whole Tadum special at all. But it is.
I can't wait for Stranger Things, man.
I can't. Oh, dude, I can't wait either.
I think that is kind of the best release. I think that's the best compromise for release date stuff for them. In terms of stretching out a little bit, but not stretching out like throughout a fucking year. I think Cobra Kai went too long between those portions that they released. Whereas it's less than 2 months. It's like a month and a half.
It's a holiday schedule.
Every holiday. Thanksgiving, then on Christmas, and then on New Year's.
Brilliant.
So yeah, it's gonna be good. But like
everybody will be home to watch it.
It's good that it's releasing like that so we can all talk about it at the same time and all that stuff.
No, I can actually do videos on it. I can't wait. Hope it's good. They're all going to be really fucking old, but apparently most of the episodes are well over an hour, so they're almost movie length, like all of them.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we will see. Hey, let's look at Arnold Schwarzenegger on his redemption arc, Mr. Screw Your Freedom. Donald.
Don't
dude,
screw your freedom.
No, the fucking tweet somebody put up like Arnold Schwarzenegger faces off against the Predator again.
Not wrong.
Not wrong. So is this Benny's tweet? Yeah, I love Benny, but those tweets where you have to at least he put something of his own stuff in it. But there's other tweets out there where they'll tweet a clip from like Bill Maher or something like that, and then they'll put in text everything they say and then the clip. And I get why they do it. It's for engagement, but it's annoying as fuck. Everything for engagement is kind of annoying as fuck. But here we go.
Self, you are an immigrant. You're an immigrant in this country. Yeah. Did you have
his dad was a Nazi.
visceral reaction to what they're doing, what ICE is doing when you see the videos of it?
Well, I tell you, you said that the immigrant. I'm so proud and happy that I was embraced by the American people like that. I mean, imagine I came over here at the age of 21 with absolutely nothing. And then to create a career like that. I mean, in no other country in the world could you do that. Every single thing, if it's my bodybuilding career, if it's my acting career, becoming governor, the beautiful family that I've created, all of this is because of America.
That's true.
And so this is why I'm so happy to see firsthand that this is the greatest country in the world, and it is the land of opportunity.
But now I've sucked up to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a proud American and a proud immigrant that came to America. I was asked to do on July 4th a big speech, the keynote speech at Mount Vernon, where George Washington was laid to rest and where he lived and all that, to celebrate the 250th anniversary of America, the existence of America. And I will be doing the speech that they asked me because I'm an immigrant, and there will be 7,000 some people there, and there will be people that will be sworn in and will become citizens that day.
That's great.
So it's really a great celebration.
Who went through the process.
This is all about, is to celebrate people becoming Americans and coming to America and all that. And so I just think the world of the great kind of a history that we have with immigrants in America. But the key thing also is at the same time that we got to do things legal. That is the important thing, you know. So you got to do things legal, and those people that are doing illegal things in America and they're the foreigners, they are not
foreigners.
Because,
well, the way they phrase their question, they're kind of going, so you're an immigrant, that means you like crime. And it was like,
wait a minute. You're fine with people coming here illegally is what they're trying to get at.
Yeah, the last person
set up.
The last fucking the last person on Earth or last person in America you want to ask about illegal immigration is somebody who immigrated here legally and went fucking through the process.
It's funny how it's difficult. She keeps trying to touch his arm, and it's really fucking hilarious because obviously he's going down the wrong path, and she's like, but, and it's beautiful what they end up saying.
Isn't it? I don't really know the view. To me, it's just a bunch of fucking mentally ill women.
It's like loose women.
That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, okay. But isn't the chick that holds his arm? Isn't she meant to be the conservative voice? Or am I wrong?
Houston? No. She is very left wing.
Oh, okay. So she's trying to correct
very
it.
retarded.
No, you're having
stupid.
Arnold. You're having an independent thought. You can't have that.
Exactly. That's essentially what she does.
But rewind it a little bit, Garrett. I want to hear that
It's
again.
supposed to be firebombing a car.
Funness.
I can feel Whoopi Goldberg's heat from here.
Smart.
First heat she's had in a long time, brother.
The words there.
Sorry, Garrett, rewind it again.
Illegal things in America, and they're the foreigners. They are not smart. Because when you come to America, you're a guest, and you have to behave like a guest. Like when I go to someone's house, and I'm a guest, then I will do everything I can to keep things clean and to make my bed and to do everything that is
I won't get near their nanny.
Rather than committing a crime or being abusive or something like that. So that doesn't really work in this country. So I think the important thing is when you become an immigrant to think about, okay, I go to America because I want to use America for the great opportunities that America has in education, jobs, creating a family, all of those kind of things. Then you have to think about, okay, if I get all of those things from America, then I have to give something back. Yes. You have a responsibility as an immigrant to give back to America and to pay back to America and to go and do something for your community for no money whatsoever. Give something back to after-school programs, Special Olympics.
And the audience are clapping.
Yep. Not all of them, though, sadly.
I'm sure he does unpaid volunteer work.
So Sunny Houston ends up saying that it's like, immigrants commit less crime than Americans. It's like, yes. The ones that come here legally, and I still want to see the stats on this, typically, I'm pretty sure, do commit less crimes because, as he pointed out, you are guests in this country. The issue is not so much with illegal immigrants because, first off, they came here illegally, which means they already broke the law. So
that's already a crime, like inherent, like by the definition, illegal. All illegal immigrants, by definition, are criminals.
Prison has a huge illegal immigrant population. They don't send them all back. They do throw them. And by the way, you Americans are paying for a lot of illegal immigrants in prisons.
And that's
your tax money is going to that. So there's a lot of them there. Higher percentage, than well, I mean, there's more of them there than white people.
Mm-hmm. But ultimately, what she's trying to do is conflate the idea that because they're illegal immigrants, they commit less crime, which is not the case.
No, but any stat brought by that dumb bitch. I wouldn't believe anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
Probably got it from Grok.
Probably.
Oh God, no, because that's Elon Musk.
She got it from Disney.
Oh, true. Yeah. It'd be, what was the one which kept putting diversity and everything? I think it was a big. Was that the
Gemini.
Google one?
Gemini. Google's Gemini. Yeah.
Google Gemini.
That was a fun day.
Show me historical.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, no.
This fucking retard. The millionaire preaching about billionaires.
It's not the immigrants, it's the billionaires. Well, we're seeing what's happening. First of all, we're understanding
pause it
that
for a second.
immigrants.
Can you pause it for a second? Oh my god. Who pays his salary?
The billionaires.
Yeah. Okay. Just checking.
And yeah, to bear in mind, this is a rich, pretentious arsehole lecturing
Yes.
everyone that is like, it's the rich people that are the problem. What
Yeah.
Doesn't he
knows
fucking
that-
hate the
How do you
rich
do, fellow
immigrant
kids?
Elon Musk?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Billionaire.
Immigrants aren't the criminals. If you look at the statistics, most of the crimes that are committed in this country are by white people, non-immigrants.
Per capita is undefeated.
Wait.
Undefeated.
Why don't you go per capita?
Exactly. I brought that up last night when we watched this clip. And again, the same things I said about the whole thing with the immigrants committing crime still applies to the same conversation here.
And that is not to try and make out white people to be like, don't people per capita who commit the less crime are Asians? Like,
Yes.
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yes.
They're too busy doing math.
Yes.
well, they're also some of the highest income earners in America as well.
Yes, they are. Yeah. That's the reason why they're white adjacent. That's why they never get included as being minorities in this country, is because
like
they
Italians.
prove that they're successful.
Well, they are the highest, not one of the the highest.
The highest, yeah.
And
So we're
speaking
saying girls the
speaking
problem.
about high, welcome.
I do love bringing up that statistic whenever I'm having an argument about white privilege. It's like, oh, so if white privilege is benefiting white people, why are Asians earning more than white people?
Yeah.
And then just crickets. There's
Collateral
Those
damage.
oppressors.
Well, it's because they're white.
add to our economy by the billions. And so for every horrible thing that you have to go through in life, you get an equal
Like a Hulk
gift in
movie?
return. And the gift of this time is that we get to see who the true villains are. We get to see who's really making our
Yeah,
That
we
guy-
did.
Right now.
This guy is a reason. What a dumb thing to say. That is genuinely retarded. Holy
lives unbearable.
You can't even
And
wear a
they're
fucking
making us
hat
so
right.
desperate. It's not the immigrants, it's the billionaires. And
Yeah.
it's time to take our country back from that
Yeah. I'm
sure the
extreme
billionaires
wealth
would love,
that has its hands all over the power of the nation.
Oh, hands
and
all over.
Become a beautiful, burgeoning democracy that works for the people.
Republic,
not
non-democracy.
just the very
So
wealthy.
he
America
would be fine with
is-
people taking his wealth. Yeah, he'll give up his wealth. Then take it back. All right, give it up then.
With
No,
his
right.
nice security,
No, we
with his
don't
nice
have to-
security team, I'm
We don't
sure
have
that
to
he
make them
has.
give it up. We can just take it.
I'm sure that these big billionaires and these big billion-dollar corporations would love the fact that they could kind of usher in, under the guise of social justice, what essentially amounts to a second-class group of citizens who you don't have to pay the minimum wage and you don't have to look out for them. They'll just accept low money,
Taxes.
and they're essentially some kind of an underclass. And I don't know, maybe that's not actually that cool, to just have like this underclass of people under the guise of being immigrants that you can just get away with paying less and not having to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're
Us.
in which case we just take the Roman path.
This incredible
Right.
panoply of different kinds of people. Be brave, man. We live in the land of the land of the free and the home of the brave. But if you want to be
Yeah,
free,
you don't
you
fucking
better
believe
be
in any of
brave.
that shit.
Unless you've got $1 billion, in which
Well,
case.
yeah.
You better be brave with all that security you got going around. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Now, excuse me while I go pretend to be a giant green monster. Could be in Spider-Man 4, by the way.
He sounds like the type of person that would be in favor of much higher taxes. And then I'll just want to ask him, well, you can pay more taxes voluntarily, so why aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and his offshore accounts keep him from paying a lot of
Yes.
taxes.
Mhm.
I promise you that. I promise you that. All right. This is going to be a subject that's going to bring everybody together. Echo chamber, although I'll probably be the odd man out on this one.
Maybe
As
we'll
usual.
find out.
We'll find out. Hey, I got to get my paddle. Where's my paddle, Garrett? Where'd it go?
Oh yeah, the
Paddle
spoiler
you.
paddle. You
Paddle.
told me
That's what I
about
said.
that.
Paddle.
There we
There
go.
There it is.
Spoiler paddle.
What's up, Chrissy? Yeah, we don't need to see the chick.
No wonder you're in the same hotel.
Did you see the film, Chrissy?
Chrissy?
Is she under the paddle?
Remove
the
paddle.
Silence. She said,
run away.
Brainy and Bizarre 28 years later shows zombie series running into dark, strange territory. So, did everybody see 28 years later?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did. I got a poster at the screening I went to.
Oh, you did?
Gonna probably throw in the trash, honestly. After.
Yeah, I could have taken one and decided not to go back.
It had a lot more dongs in it than I was expecting.
Oh my god!
All the time. There were scenes where it panned down just
Panned
to show
down,
you. It's like,
right,
it's still there. It's like-
Look, to be fair, that was.
Is that
he
why we
was-
call them alphas?
All right, he was Let's be clear. He was magnificent. All right, that was incredible.
I don't think anyone's going to insult his
He was
size.
the
It was just
actor.
how often, like how
The
proud of
actor
it they were.
stipulated, you better pan down. You need to show the world this. All
Well, it's a
right?
block
Most of it was
actor, so-
blurry, thankfully.
Was that part of the audition? Did they want the alpha to have this giant friggin'
Well, that or it's a
You're
prosthetic.
not going to have the alpha with the tiny penis. All right.
Apparently, the alpha is
This
Dirk
is the second
Diggler.
movie.
Dirk Diggler becomes a zombie in the UK.
Well, he's
and
Dick Wiggler.
I don't know about you guys. I went in. I am not a massive zombie fan in general. It's been almost 28 years since I last saw 28 Days Later, probably in the mid 2000s at some point. So I didn't rewatch it before going in. I like the movie fine, but I'm not a massive zombie movie guy. From the trailers and everything we saw, I expected a much different movie than we got. And after the first 30 minutes, I continued to expect kind of that movie. And I was interested in seeing this, little community that's been developed and what's going to take place there, and this kind of learning how to be a man in this society type of thing.
Oh my gosh. It's like listening to my own opinions in someone else's voice.
And then it, about 30 or 45 minutes, and it goes a completely different direction. And it was a really chaotic tone. And look, some of the chaotic editing, chaotic tone, like I get what you're trying to do. It was really off-putting to me. And I didn't love the story that they gave us instead. And some of it made little to no sense. And then all of a sudden, Ray Fiennes shows up covered in fucking iodine. And I think there are a lot of great performances. I just don't like the movie. I really don't.
Yeah, to me it was really meh, but it was very different to what the trailer promised. I was expecting a kind of manic fight for survival based on what the trailer is doing. The trailer also seemed to tease that there might have been a cult of humans worshipping.
I was thinking the same thing.
And that's who made these piles of skulls and stuff. And what we got was completely different.
Yes.
And in that
I'm
sense,
a wacky guy.
like,
I think you'll hear a lot of, in the next two movies, I think that'll be the general excuse.
I don't care because this was the one I paid to go see.
Yeah, that's the problem. I liked it. It was manic and weird, and it's three different movies pushed into one. It's definitely flawed, but Alfie Williams was so fucking good in it. It's the kid's story.
Yeah.
So
he was
He's
fantastic.
an excellent actor. Yeah,
it is not the trailer. It is 100% not what the trailer fucking sold you at all. Maybe in the first part of it. Then there's like three distinct different ideas that are put into this one movie to help world build. But I like the punk rock nature of it. I liked it was fucking kinetic and weird and I like, I didn't mind that it was shot on fucking iPhones. I didn't care about any of that. I just think my only gripe was they did the dad dirty. Now this is
I agree.
This is a coming of age story, right? So you don't want the dad to be there helping him all the time. That would not be a very good coming of age story. But you would at least, as a dad, and I talked about this with Garrett, and there's no way I would just sit around and wait for my kid to get back.
You would be going up.
You could have done a great little B plot of because the editing is cool and choppy. So when they introduce
it was terrible.
when they Danny Boyle.
I think a lot of it was intentional.
Danny
It's very
Boyle.
stylistic.
Yeah,
It's very
that's the
stylistic.
style, man.
I thought the edit was fine.
So like you either like it or you don't. But like when they brought in PewDiePie, and like that one came out of fucking nowhere. If you can do that, then you can have the dad going on a little sub journey that he doesn't find the kid maybe right away, you know, but he's looking at least, not sitting on the fucking island. That's the one big problem I had.
Yeah, I think
there was that line where
there
was a line where we make no just quickly, Chad, where we make no exceptions, no rescues, and it's like, well, you're his father. He won't care. He'll just do what the kid wants.
Yeah, I would not care. Fuck your rules. I guess I won't be coming back then.
And it would have been really good, like if he tried to actually escape, but then he runs into a horde of the infected that is about to assault the island. He can't get them, but he at least tries. And it could be even
at the end,
quite tragic that he's pushed back. But
well, at the end, he does try, but he physically cannot cross the water because of the currents.
Yeah,
that was only the kid was there
before
that's
that.
way
So,
too late, though. That's
and plus he just exits the story, and they don't go back to him to maybe explain in a couple of little scenes like why he stayed. Like at all.
I was massively frustrated by lots of little threads which were filtered in, which went nowhere. The dreams from the kids. Why was the mask from the first film used in the party for him returning? There's lots of little things which just seem to be set up that went absolutely nowhere, which was, to me, this film in a nutshell.
Yeah.
When he was with his father, now there's nothing wrong with it not being that, but I thought what was going to happen is the father was either going to die and he was stranded there, and it was about him trying to survive, the kid trying to survive.
Yeah, using what his father taught him.
Yeah.
Right.
Or they were going to get split. And then it became the father trying to save the son, or trying to get back with the son and everything that's going on between them to get back to the island. So I thought, so when it didn't turn out to be that, I was like, okay. But then they went straight down the dad bad because cancer mum's dying of cancer and he wants to get his fuck on. So he's just like cast to one side. The mum and him go off to find Ralph Fiennes, who's the GP. And I'm just like, nothing is happening here. It's such a minuscule story that is spread out for 2 hours. So you have to throw in the like stupid things like the boat goes past and it's like, what's that? And it's like, oh, that'll be the French patrol. And then then they bump into then we get the soldiers and they're like, oh, we're Swedish.
So does
they did do a lot of running away?
Yeah, it's just a silly thing. Don't
I think a lot of us
just on the matter of the French. This movie technically retcons the second film.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Does that retcon the second movie, which I didn't like?
Yeah, because they said they
wouldn't care.
fought it back. So maybe it did get to Paris and they fought it back to the coast. A la World War II, because it was about regression. There was lots of sort of themes about regression, but I don't think they worked because to me, that village where they had the defined roles and stuff like that, that felt like a more serene place, a more a place where they could actually grow up.
Very believable.
And then when they come up with Eric, and Eric's like, here's my fucking girlfriend. She's caked in makeup with Botox and lip fillers and everything.
That was fucking funny, dude. That was a great scene.
They were trying to take. I thought that was them trying to say something about how we're developing. But then you listen to Alex Garland, and he's like, oh, it's actually about the scariness of regressing back to where we were in basic times. And I'm like, but you made the technology look like shit, and you made the progression of humanity look like shit. So how can regression be the enemy if progression is being displayed as
I think that's just a creator not knowing what they made, like Starship Troopers. Really,
that scene was society is regressing by doing those things.
Yeah, this film is desperate to want to be meaningful, but doesn't know what message it wants to give.
It's trying to be an art film in several places.
Really came off with the mum skull scene. It's like the music is rising. It's trying to tell you this is
the best place
and I'm watching is like, this is not the message.
No, because I thought that was a damning indictment on pro-maid or pro-euthanasia.
Yes,
and I
don't even think that's the most
disgusted about that.
I think that I mean the issue.
the thematics of that aspect, I don't think are a problem. It's the execution and how much time it takes. And I think that of this film's many mistakes, I think one of them is that for all of the time that we have with the son and the mom, I never really got a grasp on what the relationship really was, other than they love each other. Unfortunately, and I think it was a mistake to give her a terminal disease that kind of made her a bit loopy and her mind not quite there, because we lose a lot of time potentially learning about her perspective on things and how she views the world, how she views the father, how she remembers the way things used to be, because she's kind of not really herself half the time. But it seems to be that there's a lot of kind of consensus, at least so far, that I feel like the first third or so of the movie was easily its strongest. And that's certainly what got me excited for what kind of a story they could tell. Right. You have this community, you have essentially the zombie apocalypse, you have the fact that the rest of the world, as far as we know, have beaten it back, but they're in quarantine. They see in the distance the fact that there are like modern boats and navies, but then we get world building questions like, why don't they communicate when they could easily do that? Why don't they go to how come a helicopter didn't just drop off some radios so that they can communicate back and forth? That would be super easy and it would be very interesting.
I think they set up to where
I think the technological ship run aground at that point too.
The quarantine is a quarantine. The quarantine is a quarantine, dude. It is. Everybody there should die, and we can't risk it getting out.
But they've clearly seen for many years that there is a community that is essentially thriving on this island and is getting their stuff together. And also, you're not breaking quarantine by flying a helicopter and dropping a crate full of radios and things to enable communication from a distance.
But they don't care. Like that's
the thing. I don't.
Yeah,
but I don't.
think
that
the
doesn't
mindset
make any sense to me.
They're keeping the virus alive by keeping them alive longer.
Yeah,
I think the mindset is let them die as soon as possible.
Let them die out, and it's going to take time. You know.
Well, then why wouldn't they just destroy it themselves? Why go through all the trouble?
Why not nuke it?
They wouldn't have a movie.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like you wouldn't have a movie.
Because
there's a lot of.
There's
a lot of
like their world building should be consistent to make the.
It is. No, they don't care about people.
Guys, it'll be in the next movie.
They care enough.
Derry, it'll be in the
island. They can
the Bone Temple. The next movie, the Bone Temple.
It'll be in the comic book.
Yes, it will be in the comic book.
I've been trying to understand what the ultimate message of this film was and the reason why the mum decided to, allow herself to be
the
killed.
message was it's a coming of age story.
I want the reason why the mum decides to die seems like is that she's terminal cancer. She's only going to slow the sun down, and I need to leave him so he has a better chance of survival. So I'll let the doctor kill myself in this creepy way.
But she was the one that saved him, though.
Exactly. That's completely contradicted by the fact the son would have died if the mum wasn't there to help him out. And
we don't even know if she knows she did that though.
Yeah, I don't think she knows that.
That's one of many loose threads which actually set up something interesting and then never explored it.
Yeah,
and I think this is why I don't think she's actually dead. If you look at the skull, there's a V shape on it, and I think he just lied to her about the cancer, and she will genuinely be in the next movie. And it'll turn out he's experimenting or something. Because this is the thing: every single other plot thread in this entire movie
that would actually be interesting. I actually like that idea.
It would have been nice
every single other thing in this movie was set up for the future. There was no thing that was actually done, and so you have all this stuff where you had him with all his bodies. He's a doctor. He knew exactly all about the virus. He was very interested in her more than anything else.
Yeah, because she's been bit. I thought she'd been bit, and she hasn't turned.
If she's immune or something, and I think he's experimenting on people, which is where the bodies are coming from.
Ew. I like this scene because the dad is explaining Hamlet to the son, and
so we can explain why they didn't nuke it. Hang on. I'll explain why they didn't nuke it. So British Isles, pretty big. I mean, not entirely, but let's say size of Texas. Nuking something completely the size of Texas, what do you think that would do to the world?
No, I don't think they should nuke it.
No, not Texas.
That little island would be like a couple of bombs.
But it doesn't take a couple of bombs.
Nuke California, if anything.
Yeah, it takes a lot of bombs. A lot of bombs get dropped. You get a nuclear winter.
Yeah.
Well, why would you do that? Why would you nuke it?
Yeah, I thought we were just about the little island.
Just set up a base
because they can clearly see
why not just like send troops in there with fucking flamethrowers and stuff? It's like but that risks getting them sick too.
There's nothing about what I
so the
proposed they
estimate
should do
was
that would
no.
work
Luke
that.
Caverns did the estimate like there would be 50 million zombies on that island.
What?
That's a lot of zombies.
This is why the retconning of the second movie is a bit problematic, because the second movie established pretty clearly that the zombies will starve to death, and that's why they try and resettle it. But that's not the case anymore.
But they didn't eat the deer for some reason. The deer population blew up. That's what I didn't understand.
They love deer.
Now that's retcon because the zombies are thriving apparently, and even
It'll be in the next movie.
right?
Breeding.
Hold on.
They're eating their own babies.
Let's. I don't know if to say the zombies are thriving is really true, because we hear the dad tell stories earlier about, you know, when they first went over there and they were foraging and it was crawling with the infected, and they do very much seem to imply that it's much kind of safer to go on.
Like
it's
they
not,
shrunk
as
to
many
a
zombies everywhere,
sustainable size,
and that is probably what's led to some of these other types being like created, these other types of zombies that now exist because of that, of those
that are a bit more survivable. But yeah, so the second movie was pretty clear that they all starved to death and died out, but that's not the case. And then the fact that it got out in France at the end of the film, and then they're just forgetting that, because the quarantine would have been justified by the end of the second film, because they let 2 people out in the helicopter, the kids, and one of those kids was a carrier that they couldn't tell. And of course, that's how the virus supposedly gets out. And that would justify, we can't let anyone out of Britain because it turns out there could be a carrier that we can't detect. And then that would force the quarantine.
The zombies on the island were quarantining it. This is perfectly logical.
Right. To quarantine the island makes sense, totally. That part makes sense. I can believe they wouldn't want to have any half measures in that regard.
Well, where does a 12-year-old boy give a diagnosis about whether a baby from an infected is infected or not?
We locked everybody down for a fucking cold, okay? I'd see them quarantining a fucking island. Okay?
They should have had Bill Gates come in and help everyone with vaccines.
Yes.
And they would have been just
him and his man boobs, his moobs.
Yeah.
Will come in and talk about health.
Well, a lot of experiments on people. Yeah, that'd be great.
They for them, it's the eyes. If they don't have red eyes, they don't have the infection, and that's what they.
And the attempt to murder you.
Until they get color contacts.
This is one world where being infected is pretty obvious.
Well, except that kid in the second film. The kid in the second film subverts that. That's I think why they could use that as the reasons. You can't.
The second film that doesn't clearly exist for this one at all.
That's why it's a problem.
They had a couple of clips from it in the flash moments. They had a couple of clips in the second one.
Based off of the first third of this movie, I was super curious to learn about how this society operates. Where do people see themselves in terms of roles? How do they survive? How do they attempt to thrive? How do they make do with some things and without some other things? I thought that was potentially interesting, especially given the fact that you have a father and a son. Yeah, like a father and a son in their relationship, and the father clearly loves and is very proud of the son, but he's got this, you know, he's got a wife and she's getting kind of loopy and crazy with cancer, and so he's unfaithful to her, and the son finds out and he's very defensive. Like that's an interesting, dramatic kind of aspect to have, especially when you put it all in the context of you're on this isolated island and there's a whole bunch of zombies out there, and that kind of colors the entire thing. But I think once the son takes the mother out, it becomes like another film entirely, and it drastically drops off in terms of how interesting it is.
Yeah, because the father should have been there to try and redeem himself in his son's eyes.
Right. The rest of the movie only works if
or at least
if a kid is making the decisions, because everything he decides is an awful decision.
It's pretty dumb. Yeah, he makes
he's got 10 arrows. He'll be fine.
They didn't at least explain why if the father didn't go out there, because if they had gone into something about how. Yeah, because if they were like, if the idea of no rescues, no one leaves the island without us knowing is like one of these incredibly like culturally sacrosanct kind of rules that's developed over the decades, I think you could pass that off as being a reason, especially because we don't know about the island's culture enough to know. And that was something I was kind of hoping to learn about. How do they view these rules? How do they view these things? Did someone try and do it before and something horrifically bad happened and it almost caused the destruction of the island through people getting in or zombies getting in? I would have loved to known that, but I don't have anything to work with.
The issue is as well, the father knew exactly where he was going because he took the mother with him. If he'd actually asked him about the doctor, just seen about the cancer, he could go straight there.
Have gone
there.
Yeah.
And he could get there by himself pretty easily, I would say.
Yeah, but the skill that they show that he has in the beginning, I think so. I also think that Eric was completely wasted as a character. The idea of for instance, like the phone, right?
PewDiePie,
when he pulls out the phone and it's got 1%. I was like, well, think about it, actually, like narratively speaking. What if the phone was at like half charge?
That's relatable.
What could have happened? What could have happened if Eric actually had this phone and he was saving the power, and he was showing Spike like, this is the outside world. Look at all these photos. Look at all these videos. This is what life is like for like a normal person out there, and how that would have like bridged the gap between these two essentially entirely different cultures. Especially with Spike being as young as he is, he doesn't know the way that the world used to be, and that would have created some really interesting kind of stuff there, especially connections between Eric's view of the world and Spike's view of the world. But they don't do anything that. It's basically, this woman is like, it is a monstrosity, isn't she weird? Like, lol. Then he throws the phone away. It's like, oh, I feel like we missed a whole lot by having these two characters connect about their completely different worlds that they live in.
Why would he
can get electricity on the island?
Yeah,
it's not magic.
And it was like a 5-minute subplot that was interesting to see these cultures clash or whatever, and all the things that this group of people is missing out on versus where the rest of the world is, which is kind of like our world. But
that could have been that's very good. That's very good. Yes.
So the soldier thing was just so silly.
They could have done something with it, but they didn't.
There's a couple of dumb moments as well, like that explosion in the thing should have just killed the mum and kid.
Well, dude,
the dumbest thing in the movie.
It doesn't work like that. If it's an explosion, it doesn't go low.
I mean, aside from the dad stuff, that's the dumbest stuff.
The dumbest stuff is him taking his mom in that condition with him. I think that is like a huge.
That is very stupid.
A very even.
It is very stupid for a broken kid who just saw his dad cheat on his dying mom, and his only fucking world is them. And he found out, and he went out, and he didn't really do well on his fucking hunt, and he's like completely broken. Kids never do stupid things.
No, he knew, the kid knew that he would have died if his dad wasn't there to save him. He knows that. So taking his mother out there, I understand, like, there's that emotional, like, sort of I guess you could call it desperation.
It was stupid and desperate. It was stupid and desperate.
Yeah.
Because the opening section with the father sets up the threat. It gave some tension. And then when he goes with his mum, everything's just tickety-boo for the most part. And then he says to Ralph Fiennes, like, we had a very, very tough journey, and it was really hard to find you. And it's like, no, you saw the fucking smoke. It's easy to find where you were.
And he's burning it all the time, by the way.
Yeah.
So
no, the thing that would have helped that scene is the dad going out after them.
Or the son convinces the dad to go with them.
I don't think the dad should go with the son. I think the son and the dad should be completely separate.
But I do think I think it could work both ways. You could have like a Last of Us-esque situation where you have them out in this dangerous world, and the old person is explaining to the new person and teaching them and everything. And by having them together, you can give the opportunity to give them a lot more dialogue and their perspectives on like the mom. It could work both either way. It's about execution in this case.
Yep.
Garrett, put up this tweet because this kind of describes the movie perfectly.
I think it's I want to bring up in these post-apocalyptic settings when you have these little
put us to the side. Put us to the side, Garrett.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about the zombie baby yet. But when they did, I thought they did such a great job of building the rules of the community and the different roles, and even in the school, the things that they're all dedicated to doing, because that's just the way of life now. From the moment they're born into this society, there's a different level of responsibility, even assessed to 12, 13, 14-year-old boys, than there is in our society today. So when you look at a decision like this, it does, like, you have to look through it in a different lens.
But even the island said why they couldn't just silly.
Have a.
They said it was a bit silly. And the dad probably 14, pushed him into 15.
It. But they ultimately did approve of it.
Yeah.
So I don't think we got an explanation as for why.
It's a rite of passage. Essentially, what he's going through is rite of passage.
Well, normally it happens at 14 or 15, they say.
Right.
But Spike is 12, which is like, that's a 3 potential year age. That's a big deal. We never got why the island would allow him to take a 12-year-old out there instead of having him wait like all the others did. So but it would have made more sense if his rite of passage was to get a deer back to the fucking community and take out any zombies along the way.
but they were literally just going out to kill a zombie.
Well, I think that was the rite of
not
passage.
productive to these.
The rite of passage is kill a zombie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, get used to killing. You have to show that you have the capability to kill zombies. That is the rite of passage.
And you can
which I
do
think
that
is-
with killing a deer as well. And you
could,
kill any
yeah.
zombies.
Well,
that
I
are in
think
the
killing
way.
But I think that
humans
you have
is-
to carry it and everything
Well,
like that. And then there's
We've come to the topic that I
Exactly.
wanted to discuss a bit, which is these zombies. They want to try and portray them as really hard to kill, except they're actually not. When it's convenient, they're suddenly ninjas
about
can take them
placement.
apart with weapons
Yeah.
easy and stuff like that.
Well, no,
and
okay,
and
so
that's,
there's
that frustrates me because for a good zombie film, I think you need to be really consistent with how dangerous these things are.
Right.
And holy crap, these low poundage hunting bows are blowing apart their skulls like they were shot from a ballista.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
just,
yeah.
That shit was
I
hilarious.
think these zombies are actually people who've been on Ozempic for 28 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Pretty
would
much.
explain.
they're-
But the one
I
thing
think
that
they're
mostly
mostly
had is that there was
consistent
two
until the
types
end.
of zombies. You had the regular ones, and then you had the alphas, which were super tough.
But I'm
There's,
even talking about
there's
the
the
regular
fat ones, then there's the
No,
runners,
yeah.
then
Yeah,
there's
and
the
there's the fat
regular-
ones too.
The regular ones are actually surprisingly easy to kill. And I'm watching this whole film like, why the hell don't you have a machete or a backup melee weapon when you run out of arrows?
Right.
It's a really
Yeah.
obvious thing. But yet,
pocket knife.
wear friggin' armor. They showed
need
in the
it-
first film that armor.
You just have a Y-shaped stick. You'd have a Y-shaped stick for the neck, so you can get the fucking
stick.
machetes in.
Well, I think the reason why they wanted to do
did they not watch Train to Busan?
Right.
Because the infection is, I think, is the reason why they don't want to do anything melee wise. What they want to keep it at range. Because remember,
Well, that's another inconsistency comics because when if that blood gets anywhere in your eye or anything, like
I was gonna bring
wear
up the
some
point with the
covering
mom
because
getting
that
hit.
blood was spraying everywhere.
Especially if the zombies have their period.
So yeah, another thing that's one. There's a lot of there's Deus Ex Machina that happens in this movie,
All
and
over
then
the
there's
place.
all over the place. And then when Ralph Fiennes' character, I like that scene, but then he's all okay. It's time for you to go back, and he just makes it back.
No, you know
It's
what?
just
all the
like-
time.
No,
I think
what
with the baby,
frustrated the hell
and it's
out of
like
me-
he's with the
There was
fucking
more to that
baby.
scene, though.
Yeah.
Because he only told him to go back when he realized that the alpha was hunting the baby.
Yes.
So now
Yeah.
he's like, I want your entire town wiped out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's. I mean, again, that's set up for the next movie, which is terrible, by the way. Just
Every
absolutely
single
terrible.
thread in this goes nowhere in this movie and only goes to the next one.
And the next movie is directed by Nia DaCosta,
Nia
by the
DaCosta.
way.
But it's not setting up the next movie because the next movie it seems to all be about Jimmy. The bookmark is Jimmy.
This
front
is
and back.
mystery box
Yes.
television in movie
Yes.
form.
Yes.
annoying.
Jimmy shows up at the end.
I gotta say, one of the things that frustrated me so much is that they don't kill the alpha when they subdue it with the thing.
I know.
It's like,
Again, they're keeping him. The doctor wants to keep him alive, obviously, but
Yeah,
like,
they should have explained it. Like,
he's a
they need to
unit.
explain. They need to explain it because a couple of more of those fucking darts would have killed him easily.
Mike should have asked, how
he's
come we
just
don't kill
standing-
it?
Exactly.
It killed Eric.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
this is why they
I-
had to have a child as the main actor because it gets you away from a lot of those questions, gets you away from him making proper decisions or being suspicious about this guy that he's found for.
I feel
doing
like
a
Spike
load of
would have
really
asked,
weird
why
stuff.
aren't we killing this guy? Well, how come we're not killing this zombie that's tried to kill us twice, almost succeeded and killed Eric? And we've just we put him to sleep twice and we're just letting him live? What, like, come on. Like, I'm 12 and even I'm like,
I was just like, this is.
I mean, he let a guy
suddenly
kill his
went
mom
down-
and was fine with it. So that guy, he was a great actor, but his character was
he
a right
drugged.
idiot in the movie.
Yeah, he was drugged. He didn't let it happen. He got
would
hit
have
with a
been
blow
great.
dart
He was
from
drugged.
behind.
Oh, when he got given
Yeah.
the skull, he was fine with it.
No, that was afterwards.
Maybe I'd hold a
That
grudge.
was
here.
afterwards. Yeah.
And also, he
Yeah,
was like,
maybe
"This
you
is my
told a
mom's
grudge.
decision." Well, no, it was understood that this was my mom's decision to do that, and they explained that with the thematics of the way that you
Would
die.
you
and
accept
dying
that?
with
And if
blood.
you have brain cancer
my mo-
metastasizing
if
throughout
my
your whole
mom-
body, you want to go out on morphine. You really
I
do.
would. I'd be.
No,
yeah,
but
if
if
it
you
was
just
my
met a
mom,
random stranger and then he knocks you out and then you got given the skull of your mom, you'd be like, oh yeah, she definitely
No,
decided this.
he watched them make that decision. They talked about this. She was watching all this happen. The mother was like, "Remember, we just talked about like a second ago how I'm gonna die. It's just a matter of how I'm going to die. I love you,
Right.
you love me. I'm gonna have a horrific death through cancer. My brain's gonna stop working. Best to die now while I'm making the decision, and I am myself, and we can both
And dying
like,
in your
accept that
sleep
love.
around loved ones is the best way to go. They had, they had the whole conversation.
I'm not letting the
think
guy
their
that gives me
plan-
the skull of my mom to get away with it.
Their plan
No
for
way.
the alpha was a long game to take him out. They're going to take him out on a rape accusation. They're just they're biding their time.
He did say he didn't want to be alone with those bones.
Oh,
Indeed.
man. Chrissy, what did you think of the alpha?
He's
very impressive.
If I had to with one of them, if someone was like, "Look, this can all be over, Chrissy, if you have sex with one of the zombies," I would be like, "All right, fine."
Take one behind you.
Give me that Y-shaped stick. All right.
Yeah, maybe you can brush his teeth first.
Oh yeah. You gotta use some mouthwash. Get in there.
You need a shower or two, Gary.
Shower. Get a chemical shower going. Oof.
Comics. You're right. Like you want to keep it at a distance, but they close the distance a lot. So I would be decked out in thick armor, and it has to be padded. Yeah, like you can
got all
pad
those
it up.
swords,
They can't bite
Dad.
through thick cloth, right? And then have a friggin' machete or sword or something, because they showed that you can take these things out pretty easy when they're close range with a machete.
I think honestly, probably a spear shot would be more effective in this circumstance.
No, what you need is a group of people
with the lens
dressed like the Teletubbies doing fucking anime shit.
What's
that was bonkers. That was like we get to the new film now.
Nowhere.
That was like a
completely
magical Power
different film.
Maybe that's the kid's dream. Maybe he
Yeah.
dreamed all that up too. Gee.
Gangster rapper ninjas that I was not expecting,
Turtles.
but okay. And then they just start messing up the zombies
Turtles?
like they're,
Well,
Yeah, they fuck him up.
Well, he was going gangster rapping
Ninja
ninja.
Turtles.
I was like, ninja.
Yeah, good turtles. Gotcha.
I'd least like
In
to
the
say that-
Teletubby covers, the
to me,
colors.
that undermined
so-
the seriousness that this film was trying to go for. It's like
I
these zombies
agree.
are scary, and suddenly we have flipping gangster ninjas.
Yeah, they
messing
have
up
the
zombies with
Droogs from
ease.
Clockwork Orange show up.
Yeah.
It's just like a
That's funny. I was thinking the same thing when I saw
I'm
it.
not against that. I'm not against the troops.
Belonged in a Blade movie.
Neither am I, but it was a completely different film to the one that was stuck between the bookmarks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
I think overall the first third was kind of setting some interesting stuff up that I was legitimately wanting to know more about, and then two different movies that were not particularly good at all kind of happened after the first act, and there were points of this movie where I was just kind of like tapping my foot, going, "All right, I'm kind of hoping something happens here." We spent a lot of time with this doctor, and yet I don't feel like we really have had anything interesting really happen with them yet. Okay. So
the dad not being a part of the story at all in any way is like the biggest.
Dropping him after the first act was a mistake.
You can do a couple things, right? You can have him go out there regardless and try to save him, like, and even maybe die trying to, like, you can do a lot of things like that. And I get it. You want the kid to have his right. He went through his rite of passage to become a man in this community. And then he gets home, and the person that he's always looked up to as a man not only is getting super drunk, but also lying about what happened out there. And then you see him do this thing, to your mom, basically. And you feel completely shocked and blown away. So you're going on something to save your mom, to be the man, right? We get to see this journey, which might go according to plan, might not. But for the dad to not either go out there, or a 10-minute subplot where he brings in the counselors and like asks them out there, and he's arguing, and you're learning more about this community that's built and why these things are this way, and whether he ignores them or decides to stay there. Conversations with the father who's still there too. Like, that stuff is absent from the movie that I feel like could have helped a lot.
I definitely agree, because the dad is like, he's such an interesting character with what we get of him.
Yeah,
He loves his
strong,
son.
capable, he's competent.
Well, yeah, he's capable and competent. He loves his son to the point where he'll even big up his son. He reassures his son when they're in the attic of the building, and the son's like, "Oh, I couldn't do it." Yeah, I like that too. But he's flawed, He's got a wife who's got a lot of problems. He's unfaithful to her, but he's like he's angry about that. He knows that it's not the right thing to do, but he still has this relationship with his son. I wanted more of the dad. What does he do after this happens? How does he redeem himself, or what does he do with the son? But he got dropped.
That's the inherent problem. Is it's a part one.
Yeah,
it's a fucking part one.
Yeah, it's a setup. It's one of the plot threads to be the main focal point in the end of the movie. So whether they bring the baby back and then there's a big war for the town and they kill the alpha at the end, or whether you find out what the bones are and what this guy is, you had to make like one of these many threads. You can leave the rest of the future, but something had to be the point of the movie.
Or the dad is the
leading
focus
the
of the
alpha
first
to
part.
the place. So I thought the alpha was going to go back, and then because I thought the alpha was going to like stop halfway across the causeway and then just start to walk back, and you thought, okay, the alpha is going to bring
more people.
I think that is going to happen in the next one.
And that would have been a good like epic finale, especially if the alpha can track his baby, and then that brings them all there.
They've shown that pretty much.
The crows following the alpha, I thought that was cool. I thought that was like
good visuals.
They did
like
it once
too, but I don't know
Twice.
what that.
Well, they showed
there were
those
crows
kind of
throughout the movie, but
Yeah,
it's only
yeah.
later on
Yeah,
you
he's
find out
only
they're linked
with
to the
them,
alpha
yeah.
being nearby.
And you know the baby is going to be special in some way in the sequels. She's going to be immune to the virus, or she'll have some greater strength, or something like that. Like the baby's going to become a character.
There's a lot of there's a lot of older like. Well, I mean, like I'm with Ryan. Like the zombie genre is not my favorite. I like some zombie movies. I think there's some really cool ones, but I'm not like a fan of the genre. And there's a lot of it's not zombie from the book, but there's some I Am Legion and I Am Legend in this, and definitely there's some Walking Dead. There's a mix of a lot of things. Even though 28 days later definitely like relaunched the whole zombie fad. That's been going on. I've never been a super fan of the genre. I still like Return of the Living Dead. That's my favorite zombie movie. That one's
There's
goofy
some good
as fuck.
Korean ones, like All of Us Are Dead.
Yeah, Train to Busan is fucking
Train
great.
to Busan is always
that is
an
fucking
old-
great. But like,
So,
it's when there's really good movies. But I'm not like I'm gonna watch everything in the genre because it has a zombie in it. It's like no, and I know technically they're not zombies. I know
they're rage.
They're
virus,
infected.
We get it. We're just we're
They're
just
zombies.
colloquially speaking.
They're fucking zombies.
They're zombies, yeah.
Yeah, there are fucking zombies. Yeah.
Well, they
Literally,
are.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
They're differently abled.
They're
Which is
technically
like-
a little more fragile than regular
Well,
zombies.
That's
like
another
a
thing they
human's
don't
better.
mention
Go on,
is so they clearly can breed. That wasn't the first baby. You think that was the first baby zombie? There had to be more.
No,
And they probably
I assume that they either
They'll go to like Birmingham or something.
and you see the woman power movement where they hold hands and they give birth, and then I'm glad they fixed that a little bit. Like when she gave birth, she tries to eat her because if she didn't, and she's like, "Girl power!" At the end, I would have just lost my shit.
I mean, there was a scene in the beginning where there was like a child zombie. So
yeah, the bloated ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they didn't kill
but that was an older child. Yeah,
It was almost like they knew there was something different about that one because it ran off for a start. So
Yeah,
you
and then
would
it
have thought they would have
stopped.
questioned it, but they didn't. And
no,
the
they didn't
kid
bring that up
knew
again.
Again,
because
It'll
so
be in the
stop.
next movie.
So they must know. So
No.
I assume that meant that they
Comic
knew
Con.
that
But no one
zombies
spoke about it.
reproduced. I guess it's just because that was just a fact of what the zombie creatures do, and it didn't even need to be like, oh yeah, that's a young one. They didn't even need to be.
It
Well,
seemed
no,
to
it
show
ran
that there
off,
was
it
there was
behaved different.
intelligence there. It seemed to show that
I
there
would-
was some intelligence there, and they never expanded really on that at
Oh.
all. Not just with the alphas. There seemed to be a level of intelligence that was starting to develop amongst all the rage demons and rage monsters, whatever. In general, but
'Cause they
again,
should just hunt the
another
humans.
thread gone. Nothing. 2
They
hours.
were kind of bathing.
Because everything I
yeah,
saw
they
from the
were kinda
rage,
dating.
Yes.
yeah, everything I saw from them was like, okay, they've like reverted to this bestial kind of like actual animals.
Yeah.
They've lost
Yep.
their human like intelligence, and they just sort of reverted to their
Instinct.
Feral.
beasts.
Yeah,
They'll have an
feral's
alpha. They'll have kids. They'll sort of wash up or.
Oh,
they'll
if we
drink
end up
from
at
the
zombie
river.
rights, I'm gonna. It's like,
I don't
oh,
know,
no,
that's
they're just
not
as
too
human as
bad.
us.
Zombie
It won't be
equity.
like Zack
It's
Snyder.
their
I
land
don't
now,
think.
Disparu. We got to
won't
do
have that.
zombie land
No,
acknowledgements
I
if they
think- no, I
take the
think that's where
UK
we're gonna-
back.
They're gonna find
Yeah.
some kind of zombie town
Zombie
and zombie
reparations.
civilization. Like, well, it'd be wrong to kill the zombies. I was like, oh.
Oh, maybe the next movie will be a giant
me a
trans allegory.
flamethrower.
I hope so.
Ooh.
You can only hope so. All right.
Man, zombies matter.
With the
People
cost
are all over the
yeah.
place. It's such a divisive movie. It's really interesting to see like who likes it, who doesn't. I don't think it's the best movie of the year.
And people are going to be fighting about this. Like it's going to be a really divisive. There's going to be some people that think it's like top tier.
But if I hear the
storytelling art, and there's going to be some people that hate it.
Yeah, but if
And
I
I
hear
think
the
it's
fucking
gonna be really
filmmakers
well-
come out, go like, I'm glad it's divisive. It's like, oh,
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
yourself. You
Fuck off.
pretentious
It's going to
ass.
do really
How
well.
convenient.
opening weekend.
IGN gave it 9 out of 10.
I think it's going to
Yeah,
do.
they gave Star Wars Outlaws.
I do want to see the next one.
I think it's going to do really well opening weekend, and I'll be interesting to see what it does after
Drop
that.
off.
Because I think a lot of people walked in expecting a very different movie. and
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's not very reflective of what the movie itself is.
75 million.
I think they should promote whoever made that trailer and just get him to make his own stuff because it was
Yes.
better than the movie.
The trailer was
Great.
way
Trailers
better.
are
Fucking-
magnificent.
well, you know what? You know what is a lot like 2014 Godzilla, which had a fucking banger, the Oppenheimer trailer that they did. Where I Have Become Death. Remember that trailer?
Yeah.
That's one of the best fucking trailers ever made. And the movie was, it was
Yeah.
fine. I liked it, you know. but it did not live up to the trailer.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I felt about this movie. I liked it. It's not the greatest thing, as you point out. It has a lot of flaws. It's like, is there a lot of rewatchability? Probably not. Am I looking forward to the next one? Not really, but I'll go check it out.
I think it's
that
because
there were
I've
parts
watched
that were good.
I've watched Lost from Severance, and I am done with mystery box stuff. And so the moment you don't answer anything, they're like, "Oh no, it'll answer in the future." No, you won't. You need to do something now. I'm not giving you multiple chances anymore.
Did you make it through 2 seasons of Severance?
I've watched all of Severance, all of From. Yeah.
Okay, I'm almost done with season 1. It's arduous, dude. If
you think it answers anything, it doesn't.
I pretty much got to a point where even if it does, I don't care.
I'm 3 episodes in Severance, and I like the first 3
It's a very interesting scenario.
It's well made.
It doesn't answer anything. That's what pisses me off.
It's very well made.
I think you should have answered something by season 1, and then you expand into something new for season 2, and you answer that, and then you expand into something else. So you keep answering as you go along, and that's what he keeps promising. That's what From keeps
How many years between seasons on that one?
Like
3, wasn't it?
3. It was 3. Like, no.
But when you find out it took them 6 months to film him running in a corridor, I'm like, why? This should not be a difficult.
Oh yeah,
thing
it's
to
insanely expensive too, and it's all like shot in like an IKEA.
Yeah.
So
I have no idea how they spend that much money.
Like
I
an
was
empty
watching
IKEA.
Az's review of 28 years later. He's like 70 million budget for this. I don't know where it went.
Like iPhones are expensive.
Zombie movies are meant
Yeah,
to be a cheap movie.
It's got to be so high on the above the line for this. I think, Danny Boyle and fucking Alex Garland just taking a fucking payday on this one. I can't see 75.
I liked it better than fucking Civil War.
Yeah.
Civil War was crap.
I was with a couple of friends, watched this with a couple of friends, and none of us liked it. And we were talking about one of them brought up the budget, and they said, guess what the budget is? So one of my friends said, I reckon this is 40 million.
75 million is like an independent film nowadays, come on.
And they said to me, it's an A24, mate. And they said to me, what do you think? And I said, I actually think this is probably around 25 mil. And he went, 75.
It feels like that. Yeah. It feels, especially if
like
they
40 to
spend
50
more
million,
time. Yeah. They spent, because like what in this movie is super expensive?
iPhones.
I don't know. I'm out of my wheelhouse.
They used iPhones to shoot it. They had iPhone bullet camera and stuff.
They had a bunch of people as slaves and then killed them to turn them into those big pyramid things.
Because I'm not even saying it negatively.
A lot of people died for this film, Ryan.
Expensive.
Hey, Poltergeist used real skeletons in the pool.
Yes,
hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. That's hardcore. Poltergeist is great.
Yeah.
All right.
Poltergeist is fun.
Go watch 28 Years Later if you want.
Don't.
If you don't. Yeah.
Watch 28 Days Later.
Let me tell you. Go watch Mobland.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. If you want zombie stuff and you want this, just watch 28 Days Later. Watch the first scene of 28 Years Later, and then watch Train to Busan. And
watch Train to Busan.
There you go.
No, I don't think this liked it.
Worth your time.
I liked
that was
it.
one thing at the end of the movie.
It's a bad year of movies. Those
Jimmys at the end were 28 days later. So I think that's like how they're going to do the 28 days, 28 weeks, 28 months or years. They're just going to repeat the same thing.
I think they should focus on one movie, personally.
He said 28 days later at the end. And then
it did. It does.
This is the arty stuff that I bet they're really proud of. They're like, oh, this will be.
See, I was expecting the sequel would be... The sequel might be 29 years later or 30 years later, just 1 year after this one. But if
28 years and 28 days later is going
to 28 years and 28 days.
We'll find out.
I wanted
in the Nia DaCosta directed from the Marvels, by the way, sequel. So
I want my $28 back.
Dang, true though. Popcorn was all right.
Popcorn was good.
I had a good time going. It's been a shitty year for movies. Like this is we said this last year,
didn't
but
get
it's
any better either.
It's been a sloppy. The best movie I've seen is The Biggest Flop, like by far. Better Man is the best movie I've seen this year.
I think it's How to Train Your Dragon or Mission Impossible. It's kind of like
that's a bad year.
It's not
How to Train Your Dragon is fine. It's fine. Both of those movies are fine. It's a year of.
I think both of them were better than this. I think I preferred Thunderbolts to this. I wasn't.
Oh, fuck no. Oh, God,
no,
you're smoking fucking.
No, the only bit I
Get
liked
the
in
fuck
this is
out of here.
the father bringing
Up all
up
your
the son
head.
and everything else, all the story threads. No
way.
All the stuff with the mom.
Thunderbolt
the thing
sucked.
Is, the very first scene with the mom, I'm like, they need to cut this character, and then she was in most of the movie.
Yeah, Danny Boyle's she's a champagne socialist twat.
Of course. Well, so is fucking everybody in Hollywood and the UK.
Yeah.
Danny Boyle would not direct Slumdog Millionaire today because of the cultural appropriation.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So
Fuck
answer this
off,
question:
twat.
why is Nia DaCosta directing a movie about white men?
Cultural appropriation, obviously.
Yeah, it's cultural. In his eyes, it would be.
It's
just
about
the same crime.
it's a necessary redress of balance, as it is redistributing amongst the
welcome to
community
Marvels,
from the privileged.
Also, if you hire someone to make a worse second movie, it makes yours look better.
Yeah, and then you can blame Nia
what Russell
DaCosta
said,
for that too.
Yep.
That's a great. We're living in a world where we're setting up people for the fall.
I genuinely
movies.
think that's why those scriptwriters got hired for Doctor Who.
At least he got work after being the mascot for Six Flags.
Oh, yeah, Doctor Who.
Oh,
He does look like that guy. Does I hated those fucking commercials so much. I don't know why. I just did. There was an article about Doctor Who. It's still going to be canceled. Okay.
Oh, I thought you meant the ketamine.
Oh, find that tweet because that's
Doctor Who gave Matthew Perry ketamine.
Fuck. So I told the story like when I was looking up Doctor Who news during COVID. Anytime you put in Doctor Who news, it would give you a Doctor Who article, and then it would give you 5 Doctor Who administered COVID vaccine, blah, blah, blah. So, like, this is funny as fuck that this came up later. Disparu tweeted it, Garrett, if you can find it. Or Lady Greymaster, one of the 2 people back there. And then we'll get to Super Chats. But basically, they have no idea what's going on. That's the quote with Doctor Who, which was about how much of an idea they had while they were making the show. And it is still going to be very canceled. It might be a kiddie show. We're going to get some spin-off, but this thing is done for fucking a decade easily. Not going to see it again. Can't find it, Garrett.
I put it in the private chat.
It's in the private chat.
Hey, Gary, I know this is going to come as shocking news, but as of a couple of minutes ago, according to the Hollywood Reporter, John Bernthal will return as the Punisher in Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Wow. Holy shit. Bring this, find that article real quick. Well, okay, real quick. Doctor Who sold Matthew Perry ketamine.
To plead guilty.
Oh my god.
Doctor Who.
All the comments
God
under my
damn it,
post were all the comments under my post were I had to read this 10 times before I understood what it actually meant.
And it's really sad. I'm very sad about that. Holy shit. Look at this.
You can't laugh and go, I was really upset.
Like it's a bummer that he died of a drug overdose and people like
Doctor Who is definitely a bummer, yes.
But Doctor Who is definitely responsible for Matthew Perry's death, and he should face his crimes. Okay, he should face justice.
Keep getting away with this.
You can't keep getting away.
Hey, I don't know if you guys had heard in the chat, but this is absolutely out of nowhere. Like,
wow.
John Berthel's Punisher.
6 months, Gary.
Since January we've been talking about it, but John Bernthal's Punisher set for Spider-Man Brand New Day with Tom Holland. Look at that. Scroll down a little bit.
You should start a Patreon for your scoops, Gary.
Dude, my scoops are 100%. They actually are 100% because they're not my scoops. It was somebody else telling me information and I just passed it on. So it technically is not. The person who told me this stuff is right. That's it. And it was Chris Gore. I attribute all scoops that are accurate to Chris Gore.
What about ones that are not accurate?
I attribute those to. Okay, let's go.
My time to shine on you, Crazy Diamond, or whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, there he is. That's the man. I want you to give all credit to Scoops, to Chris Gore.
Scoops Mahoney.
So go back to the article real quick. I want to read this. The Punisher returns. John Bernthal is suiting up as the vigilante once again for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Sony and Marvel's latest web-slinging adventure. Bernthal first suited up. God, I hate it when they do this. Where's the meat of the article? Not just like, hey, remember, we're gonna just tell you everything you know already.
Word count, mate. You got to fill the word count.
Shang-Chi, I know they do. Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings filmmaker Destin Daniel Cretton will direct Spider-Man Brand New Day. Yeah, because you know what?
Yeah, that's definitely Cretton. Yeah,
I know. I was waiting for you to catch that.
Not a big name. Not great.
I know. It's like awesome. We're gonna have the Shang-Chi director do Spider-Man, and then we're going to have the Thunderbolts director, which is not better than 28 years later, is going to be directing the fucking X-Men.
I don't know. I'm sort of leaning more in Disparu's corner.
I liked more of the
Okay, you two Brits can circle jerk each other in the wrong corner. It's fine.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going that far. I'm gonna be agnostic on this one for the
There's too many like great acting sequences and stuff like that occur in 28 days or 28 years later.
Yeah, it's definitely better acted.
Thunderbolts.
Yeah, the acting's much better.
Yeah.
Ralph
incredibly well acted. It's a very specific artistic direction, which I don't really enjoy, but it's
there was no art whatsoever involved in the Thunderbolts. It was product. Plot details on the fourth installment remained under wraps.
28 years later was I'm dreaming about like deer running outside and they collapse my house.
I understand that part. I told Baller, I'm like, this is the kind of movie that you probably really enjoy really fucking high on drugs. Like
I'm drowning. All right.
Plot details on the fourth installment remain under wraps. So it's going to be a unknown villain. I don't know which villain it is. Manipulating the Punisher and the Hulk, and it's going to be the Savage Hulk. Going up against, and they will be up against Spider-Man at first, and then what happens after that, I have no fucking idea. And I think,
another team-up movie.
Another team-up. Well, no, the whole thing was Sony wanted to get in on the multiverse, and Kevin Feige said no. But we'll give you can pick a couple of characters. What characters do you want to pick? And they picked these two characters. So, the reason you're not going to see Spider-Man and Doomsday as of last time I talked to that person is they didn't even ask. So I'm guessing Sony was just probably assuming those characters might be in Doomsday, but Kevin Feige didn't even ask because he didn't want to bother dealing with Sony because they fucking hate dealing with Sony. They have to, but they hate it. And like Tom Rothman's not like much better than anybody else. He's a fucking idiot too. So he hates superhero movies. He famously hates.
Tell me something that would surprise me, Gary.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I kind of agree with him now. So.
He was just ahead of the curve.
So that's it. Yes, the person I talked to was 100% correct.
Yay. Okay.
Yay me. Hashtag the person Nerdrotic talked to was right.
It was Tom Holland.
Yes, it was Tom Holland.
The way you were describing it did sound like Tom Holland. It's like, well, Spider-Man won't be in it.
It was
the last
Zendaya.
time I spoke to him.
Zendaya.
It was Zendaya.
Oh yeah.
By the way, this is going to come as a massive shock as well. But the tabletop Lara Croft game with stunning and brave, fat, one-legged, pink-haired black.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, all these
I know
words
exactly what he's talking about.
This sounds believable.
Has been cancelled.
Shocking.
Like a board game or like a tabletop RPG?
The tabletop
around
RPG with around Lara Croft, which had a diverse group of characters, which included a black female with pink hair and one leg and fat, if I didn't say that again, with a bow and arrow and shit.
That's it right there.
And
I saw this. Yeah.
I remember
what a bizarre setting for a TTRPG.
And the other one of them is trans. I think the blonde or the other person's trans and all this.
Shadows of Truth?
Yeah, Shadows of Bullshit.
What kind of fucking name is that?
I remember the marketing release for this, and it was something around the lines of they're addressing the colonial, problematic nature of Tomb Raider.
Yes.
Something like that.
I thought this already came out. I didn't realize it got canceled.
No, it was announced, and then they couldn't get the creative.
Was that a Kickstarter or something, or did a company actually back that?
Well, it's Crystal Dynamics. Well, Crystal Dynamics.
Crystal Meth Dynamics.
I could well believe they just greenlit the fucking thing.
Oh my god. Well, hey, that's more good news.
That is good news. I
James
love seeing
Bond,
more and more of these woke projects just being taken aside.
Well, Relooted's coming out though. That's what I'm looking forward to.
What's coming out?
Relooted.
Yes.
From a museum.
That's gonna be hilarious. I'm looking forward to playing that one.
I wonder what the developers were thinking when Dustborn came out and they were working on Relooted, and they're like, were they starting to realize?
I want to know.
We can beat
so
this.
fucking
I want to know
hilarious,
why
man.
all these black creators saying we're sick and tired of black people being portrayed wrongly by white people. We're going to create our own stuff, and every fucking one of them has made them all thieves.
Yeah.
Every fucking one. Here's our black characters, they're thieves. Here's our black characters, they steal. Here's our black characters, they nick.
But they steal for justice.
Yeah, it's like Robin Hood.
I was worried with that last one you said there, as.
It was in Archie's video. They don't even defuse any of the traps in the museum. She just runs so fast after triggering it that she doesn't get caught.
Yeah, another stereotype, by the way.
Yeah. The audio is kind of key for this.
Yeah, you have to play it. It's hilarious.
That's someone's fetish.
No.
I am looking for vibranium.
Treaties were signed, promises made and broken. Is it stealing? Take
not
back
really.
What was
Yes,
stolen.
it is. It is stealing.
Who's stealing?
You're stealing.
Us?
You.
Wait, so they dress like that normally?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Wait, so this is
Yeah.
before? Oh, because now
didn't
that I've
lose a
seen the
bet.
trailer. No, yeah, because now that I've seen the trailer and they seem to be discussing what they are going to be doing now, I assume this was their like superhero outfits. I guess that's just their normal garb.
Yes. It's their
Interesting.
Afro-futuristic
Don't
outfits.
want people to see us, so we will wear bright colors.
Do the
I have a
people
phallus
making
on my
this?
They all look like they got dressed at the Lost and Found.
What is that for all of them?
This is really distracting. Do the
I
people
got
making this
$20
think?
in my
Hey, look, there's
pocket.
the dumpster where all the clothes go in right behind him, Chrissy.
We just robbed a Goodwill.
So do the people
Goodwill's
making this
great.
think that all museums
besmirch
are
Goodwill.
evil villain layers with like traps?
Yes.
Because
Yes, they don't understand that a vast majority of artifacts are actually saved from cultures that were destroying them, who were stealing them themselves to sell to collectors, and the actual fact that a lot of museums exist that have managed to hold on to their heritage, which they themselves would have annihilated. But no, don't worry about
there
it.
are tons of artifacts in African countries that they could dig up right now and build their own museum and celebrate their own culture, and they don't. You want to know why? Because they're killing
all
each other in
corrupt
civil
governments.
wars. Yeah.
Well, also, they lose the technology of what was taken. So one of the things in this was a bit of wood with some leather put over it that they used to bang really loudly to communicate with the town down the road.
Oh, I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that.
Well, no, that's a true story. But the
That's how I
English
bang.
took it from them, and then they didn't know how to make a second tube with a piece of leather over the top of it. So they just stopped communicating with the town down the road.
And they got on
And they
much
seem to have held
better.
a grudge.
They have no way
because
to
it's in a
communicate
game
anymore.
Centuries later.
there are cases like this where, you know, all those wells that Mr. Beast dug in the country, they don't know how to maintain them or repair them, and they're all just breaking down. And
It's the entire story of Haiti or any other one of these fucking
Yes.
shithole countries that have never developed for a fucking
Remember
reason.
when
They don't
Barack
have a word for
Obama's
maintenance.
brother came out about 8 years ago when he first came out for Trump, and he's all, we miss colonialism. They kept our roads going, our infrastructure.
This game is
There is
an opposite Indiana Jones game. It is
Yeah.
the exact fucking opposite. It belongs in a museum. No, it belongs in our caves.
And the other thing,
We're gonna
the reason
rebury
why,
it.
Hey.
we put things in museums. I mean, take a look what happened in Afghanistan when the Taliban took over, where they literally
Oh,
destroyed
Smashing things.
Yeah,
that was a
statues
tragedy.
of
That was
Buddha.
a
Blew up
fucking
Buddhas,
tragedy.
yeah. It's
Yeah, they
fucking
Blew them up. Yeah.
Well, just all the old stuff from like thousands of years ago, all the like the Sumerian stuff and everything.
Yeah,
what
It's
was
fucking
that,
tragedy.
Jimmy
was
Corsetti
like,
from Bright Insight has a couple videos
The
kind
canyon,
of showing it.
they blew up all the statues in the canyon that have been there for
Yeah, the
fucking
Yeah, the
Buddha.
Buddha, the giant
They
Buddha.
basically use
Oh.
anti-aircraft weapons to destroy them. It's fucking insane.
There is I don't like, I'm not saying it's not possible, but through a video game, it would be very difficult for you to tackle what's somewhat of a complex issue in terms of where does the ownership of a nation's history begin and end relative to what the current government is and everything. Because it's I guess there's a lot of stuff you could say about that. But I don't think
there is, but who's in control of the country now?
Versus
who's related to
the rights to it. At what point does history become humans as opposed to a singular nation's? But I don't think they're going to have the nuance.
Well, who are the indigenous people here?
They're just going to nick it.
Just for that,
steal it.
There's a lot of people in certain countries that aren't even actual descendants of the civilizations that built these artifacts. And so just because you live on the land, do you have a right to
It's because they've all been fucking murdering each other for as long as
and raping each other.
That would make a better game.
Not necessarily in that order, but
maybe. Hopefully not.
Garrett, put up that this Michael Malice has a great solution. Solution.
Oh.
I saw clips of this.
This is so fucking funny.
So
I saw this. I was eating dinner in a restaurant. I was laughing my ass off, and everybody's looking at me. I'm like, oh, and then I repeated to Melissa really loud what he said in the fucking restaurant.
Some people thought this was serious and took it serious.
Of course they did, because Grok, is this real?
Grok, is this real?
There are 41 million African Americans. There's 40 million Canadians. This is how we solve America's racist past. Enslave Canada. Every African American gets one Canadian. There are 41 million African.
I mean, it's not the worst idea.
And the Canadians are so nice; they would go along with it.
They'd apologize for it.
Or they would submit to it because it's their white guilt reparations that they feel.
We're sorry we didn't think of this ourselves.
I think it's a great idea.
I'm sorry, I should have been a better slave.
Are there really only 41 million Africans?
Somewhere.
Probably around that. Yeah, because about 13%, isn't it? So, well,
I don't know.
Well, they didn't say African American.
X-ray girl, math us.
Right?
Yeah,
oh no, I think in America it means.
Oh, the maths. You need the maths. All right, super chat time. Thank you, Michael Malice. That was fucking hilarious. Mikey Gusler, big James Gunn fan, rooting like hell for Superman.
Yeah.
He is actually here to defend James Gunn against us all. 4 parts for $80. Thank you, Mikey. We love you, man. Go any good shows lately, Mikey? I haven't. I saw the EFAP highlights video titled "Snyder fans are deranged lunatics," and I have
I resemble the remark.
First, the post on Reddit
personally.
and spoiling Superman has seen nothing but criticism from the Snyder fandom, and it was proven part 1. The person who posted it wasn't a Snyder fan. Second, saying that a whole fandom is deranged is stupid, because a few fans who go extreme off online doesn't mean the whole fandom is like that. We know that. It's disrespectful and wrong.
Oh no! What about the Raylos?
Just to be clear, Snyder fans are weird and they need to be segregated from society. All right, that's all I'm saying. But
that's a furry saying that.
Yeah, that's me saying that. Yeah. Look, if you want to segregate the furries, that's fine. Get them out of here.
Mikey, we love
They're
you.
weird.
Rag saying these people need to touch grass is wrong, because most fans like myself are real people working, and when we get home, we want to be entertained. I love Mikey. I choose to listen to these shows like EFAP and Friday Night Tights. I'm fine with disagreements and making fun of one another for liking things. What I'm not okay with is being called a deranged lunatic. You're not a deranged lunatic.
You're not a deranged lunatic.
No. You are not.
We are generalizing,
I might be,
but Snyder fans are deranged lunatics. But you're one of the good ones, so don't worry about it.
The whole idea that story went from whoa, they're trying, it's a mass sabotage attempt, and it was like it had like 2 fucking upvotes on a subreddit or something, and it tried to get turned into some like mass plan to fucking spoil something. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, we're not taking that too seriously.
It's disrespectful and hurtful, and I'm tired of being labeled. And I'm not. You're not, Mikey. We love you.
We love you.
But Mikey, you are a James Gunn fan. You should be insulted about that. That's what he's getting pissed about.
Look, maybe Superman might be the thing to turn him. Maybe in a few months he'll be like, you know what, James Gunn, I
I think all of us want a great Superman movie. We walk out of that going, fucking A, that was awesome. I want to go buy a ticket and walk back in and see it again. That's what I want from a Superman movie.
It would have to be the opposite of 28 years later, where I still don't get the trailer that I've seen.
No, that's
don't give me the movie they've been marketing. It's what it would
that's
take.
what you got to be hoping for. Yeah. It's like, wow.
The trailers that I see for Superman is not the movie.
Those trailers kind of weren't great, but damn, that movie was good.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean,
this happened before.
It has.
Now I'm trying to think which fan base has the most deranged fans.
Raylo
was left for Wheel of Time.
Raylo's, man.
I hear the Boruto fans are insane crazy.
What's Boruto?
Naruto?
No, it's the sequel to
No, Rick and Morty fans were pretty weird too. They were.
Yeah, they're up there.
Yeah.
I still think Snyder
Chat's
fans were the
right.
worst,
Twilight
though.
fans. Chat's right.
Twilight fans, 100%. Yeah. Rick and Morty fans, I apologize. It's Twilight fans.
No. What about all your book talk
I humbly
fans?
apologize to Rick and Morty fans.
Not all.
They were
Hashtag
nothing
not all.
compared to
Hashtag
Twilight
not all.
fans.
I suddenly relate to
I
him.
wronged you, Rick and Morty fans. I'm sorry.
I think you'll find any of your femme fantasy on book talk stuff, the really wild books that you read them and it's like you couldn't show this to anybody.
I don't know.
think
Fake
those
babies
fandoms
might
would be-
take the cake.
That's
Fair.
Yeah. Oliver Lavery Farage for 50 British pounds. That's proper money. For now. Is it still proper money, as?
What?
That's it. Sorry, shameless plug alert. I have just launched an Indiegogo for a Star Trek fan film called Prisoner 47 and hoped you guys might be interested. It looks at an ethical discussion, and I think it's something that fans can help keep alive right now. Be careful with Star Trek fan films. There's a guy out there who fucking ruined it for everybody. Be careful with those because they're.
Did someone make one and he got like the attention?
Yeah, I forget. Oh, help me, Chad. I'm forgetting his fucking name.
I don't know about this. Yeah.
Alex Peterson, right? It's Alex Peterson.
Alex Peterson. I think that's him.
Okay.
Yeah. He fucked it over for everybody's. And basically CBS or now Paramount is like Axonar. By the way, the trailer's great. Robert Burnett worked on it. The trailer was great. Alec Peters. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't remember the dickhead's name who fucking ruined it for all Star Trek fan films. Now, so did CBS. Like, fuck them both. Fuck CBS for suing people for making fan films. No, you probably shouldn't be making money off of the fan films. And if you are, keep it on the fucking down low, brother. Okay, keep it on the DL a little bit. And don't be so obnoxious about it.
Yeah, it's like if you find a machine gun in the woods, don't tell anyone.
What? The problem is copyright law, because if you don't defend your copyright when you find out about it, it gets taken off you.
No, that's technically true. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, all copyright law needs to be redone essentially.
Yeah,
from
you have to basically enforce your copyright.
Yeah, so like I'm not telling you not to make money. I'm just telling you to shut up about it. But just be careful because Paramount will sue the fuck out of you.
Did that get made? Because I heard Axonar was actually decent, and it was like
it got partially made when there was a trailer, and Robert Burnett has multiple streams on like the whole thing, and he worked on it like a lot. And some of it was really Richard Hatch was really fucking cool. Like it was really well done, right? But
Yeah, it was also Renegades had to get rebranded because initially you had Star Trek Renegades, and then I guess that whole lawsuit thing happened, and they basically rebranded it.
Yeah,
to be something.
I mean, and to be clear, fuck CBS for suing people for making fan films. Fuck you.
This is like what Nintendo does with furries. They're like, oh, they want to draw Pokemon, we ain't touching it. We'll just look the other way.
Well, when it came out, what the devs were saying about the Pokemon, I surprisingly didn't like it.
Yeah, Prelude to Axonar. It's available. You can go watch it, and it's it's pretty good.
There was
it's
a
really
lot of
pretty good.
backstory for the Pokemons that we didn't know about.
It's been a minute since I talked about it, though. It's been years. That was early days on the channel. Early days.
I didn't even know about this. Yeah.
Disney Star Wars and Lucasfilm, they fucking suck, but they don't go after people making shirts. They don't go after people making fan films unless they're Star Wars theory. But they generally don't. And George Lucas, to his credit, never went after people like that ever.
Yeah, he encouraged fan films.
He encouraged it.
And
Yeah.
that's
George
people,
Lucas.
Like when a fan film impressed him, he would hire people who worked on it. So.
Yeah. He always had a good attitude for it. And the whole thing is with a lot of these companies before the corporate times was just don't make a lot of, like, if you're going to make a Spider-Man art print or something like that, don't make tens of thousands of them. Make a couple of hundred, and we're not going to bust your balls.
Sell them
about
at a
it. Yeah.
convention booth and just has,
I think that's cool. I think that's
was
reasonable.
that
I think so. Yeah.
Etsy, just stick them on Etsy.
Remember when
Unironically.
Was this a story about Marvel and some kid that died and Spider-Man on his headstone?
Yes.
Remember that story?
Yes.
Yep.
That was all Disney.
Fucking Disney, man. It wasn't
Disney does
licensed
not
out.
support the death of this child, actually, when it actually kind of comes across as the opposite.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing that a lot of people actually don't know about copyright. Technically, the IP owner has the sole discretion to create derivative works, which is just creating the image. Literally, just creating a fan art is a breach of copyright if you don't have a license.
Well, it's copyright. Okay. And the art on a story itself. And then there's trademark, which is a lot stronger. And there's that. And it differs in your country and the UK. And intellectual property is a murky thing. That's why, Ethan Klein going out and like putting a copyright on that video, waiting for people to react so he can hit them. It's like, that's going to be tough. I'm breaking out the popcorn to watch them go after each other. I think it's fucking great, but
I think he has a strong case. I think he has a very strong case.
Because they quoted their malicious intent.
Yes,
that's what did it.
Exactly. They said
that's why they didn't go after Hassan.
They reposted his video so they wouldn't watch his and give him money.
So other people wouldn't watch his video
and give him money.
I still think it's still going to be tough. It's going to be really fucking tough.
Ethan's not the villain here.
Dude, I know that. Like the whole point is like I still think it's going to be tough. I'm just trying to be objective. I think he's pretty funny in like what he did and how he pulled it off. But knowing what I know of intellectual property law and how you can hide behind, you could state your fucking intent and it could still be an opinion, right? So it's up to like how good their lawyers are. Now that one stoner chick, I don't think she could probably get a good lawyer. So I think she's probably
the coughing bit in the video. That
holy
was
shit, dude! What the fuck? Why does she got bags? Like, okay, I'm like sorry, haven't done drugs in a long time. What the fuck? Did she have a bag she was smoking out of or something? Like a plastic bag? What the fuck was that?
Think about it.
I'm not clued in. I'm not that clued into Twitch drug culture.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you can do that on Twitch.
Yes. Well, actually, I'm not.
It depends who you are. Yeah.
It's an interesting case because I think fair use is great. I love it. I think fair use should give even more protection than what it does. But at the same time, you have the other end of the spectrum where you have people reacting, not doing anything. They're just playing the thing in the background. And Twitch has been running fast and loose for that for ages, or should I say Twitch streamers specifically.
Massively.
And so I hope that he'll, get them stung for this and
stealing somebody's content on another platform to produce your content is essentially what Twitch just became. It just became a fucking theft thing. And because they couldn't steal music and they couldn't steal TV shows because that was getting hit, when they tried to just show the show on the screen and they'd just react to it by going like. And now, so what happened is, get some online creators that create something, will take that. And then they initially started with people actually reacting to it, talking about it, stopping it, doing, the good stuff. That stuff's absolutely fine. No problem with that at all. But then it evolved thanks to cunts like Hassan Piker, who's a piece of fucking talentless shit. It just turned into him fucking turning on his fucking camera, turning on the video, and then fucking off and just showing the video. And then once you set that precedent, and he's the golden boy.
That goes back to the JXZ video.
Yeah,
right.
EFAP has a whole saga covering this very well.
Oh boy, do we?
Yeah,
that's right. If you want to go through the whole React Wars saga, man, we've got you covered.
He set the precedent.
Mahler's got some news on that front. I'll let him tell it, but he's got some. He shared something with me today, but we were discussing it a little bit today. But yeah, like getting up out of a chair and walking. It's I wish dude, there's reactions to your own reactions to reactions, and it's fine.
I think you have to. If someone reacts to your video, you have to react to their reaction. That's
you have to react to their. But when you're reacting to your own video, reacting to somebody else's video, I think that gets a bit much. But whatever. It's the fucking internet. I don't care. And
Tim the Tapman's done some where he's reacting and someone else reacting and they start like having a conversation back and forth because they know the other person's going to reply. And then by the end, you're like, I can't even find a place to talk in this. There's 5 other yous responding.
I just close my eyes and hear the voices.
React.
Yeah. And then sometimes they'll laugh at their own joke, and it's like, well, at least you did find at least you like your own sense of humor.
Like react to yourself, reacting to your own tweet. I think that's the kind of
shit. I'm a bit more confident. I think Ethan almost has him dead to rights with my understanding of copyright, and so
if this doesn't get through, I don't know what else could.
Yeah. Like this, there's no React content, and they literally are saying that we're doing it to steal the content, and so that I feel like they have.
Well, I imagine he's got a really good fucking lawyer. I still think, knowing what I've seen people get away with, it's going to be tough. I hope he fucking wins. I'm rooting for him. I am rooting for him, but I have seen like egregious things like pass because the lawyers are good and it's murky. There's nothing definitive about this shit. That's why YouTube and all these other companies, except for Twitch, all side on the side of caution and just automatically copyright claim you when 99% of it is bullshit. Especially fucking Warner Brothers.
I don't want to see are like unintended consequences coming from this that affect people who have been doing it the right way, because people are been worried about other shit, or
there is
worried about other shit.
I think there's that possibility, and Ethan mentioned this with companies, and they that still could happen like any day. Like if you're Asmongold talked about, was there really a dude who fucking just played the Lord of the Rings trilogy? Like played the whole fucking thing?
I wouldn't be if it's on Twitch. I legitimately wouldn't be surprised.
On Twitch, there was lots of stuff like that.
It kind of goes into, if you ever want to describe the difference, like sort of in the broad culture of YouTube versus Twitch, the fact that people on Twitch were doing that for so long is so shocking to anybody who's used to being on YouTube that you can just play shows and movies and sit there and make money off of it, and it's fine. Like that is a foreign planet to us YouTubers, that you could just do that and get away with it.
But they tried it on YouTube. Some people tried it. They would have the shows in the reflections or the or then
but that's like they have to try to get around.
But even that got like kiboshed pretty quickly.
Yeah, because it was the music industry that made YouTube come up with everything in the first place. It's like one of the biggest lobbies there is. And music copyright is ridiculous. There's like 3 different things.
That's the music.
Play music. And on Twitch, they even now people will just play any music they want. Just because they don't have they never built a system. So
I know that because there's some streamers I watch who kind of are new-ish to YouTube, or they do the dual streaming, and so they'll be like on Twitch and they'll be playing like music in the background as they're streaming on YouTube, and I'll be on YouTube watching them, and it's like, oh, you need to get used to the fact that if you're gonna really like lean into YouTube, you can't just be like playing music like this. You gotta be careful with your selections.
Why haven't Warner Brothers music is the fucking worst. So why haven't they gone after Twitch?
Because Twitch is too small fry has always been the theory. Like
it's kind of avoided the ISL
but it's still
run,
small compared to everyone else.
It's owned by
the music
Amazon,
industry know about them, but they're not.
Yeah, but they're not like
someone will make a claim.
Everyone knows YouTube. Not everyone knows Twitch.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if Amazon cut Twitch loose, it's fucking done.
It probably will someday.
Probably. It would have to be like repurchased and completely revamped, because it has an install base of people who are pretty loyal to it. But it would have to be culture. Like you'd have to have someone buy it, go through, fire everybody, and then just like basically say, we have sort of an infrastructure, we have an install base, we have sort of like a culture here. We need to revitalize this platform, and I think that's what it would take to really have it be truly competitive.
Their most recent thing is they were taking down Twitch streamers that were mentioning YouTube. So if you mentioned that you streamed on YouTube during a multi-stream, they were banning them. So they will ban you for the most minor of things, calling someone fat. but they will let you play copyright stuff all you want.
Didn't the CEO
Depends,
get
who you call,
busted?
depends on who you call fat, because you can
Didn't
call
the-
Nicholas
Rogan
Oreo fat.
specifically,
You can call him fat, but don't say
Didn't
anything
this-
about Rogan.
Didn't the
Oh, yeah.
CEO get busted like with pictures of some Twitch thought or girl
multiple
on his
times.
phone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
every time he scrolls through Twitch feeds, it's
So he's not only CEO, he's the client.
Oh yeah.
He likes to check. He likes to sample. He likes to check out the merchandise.
Yeah. Calling people fat, no, but playing terrorist propaganda, perfectly fine.
Totally
fine.
okay.
It's all right.
Totally
What
okay.
a crazy world. Remember when it used to be about people like playing video games and
But yeah,
turning
right,
hot
yeah.
tubs and
Right. That was a long
back
time ago.
What was it called back then? Justin
Thought.
TV or something?
Justin
Way back
TV.
Justin
Yeah.
TV, yes.
Remember when they had to
Back
make a
when-
law that the game footage had to be the main thing in your camera because it was shrinking further and further on? People were playing like
It was like a
League
little
of
postage
Legends,
stamp.
get a tiny box, and then it was just their chest. In the rest
Yeah,
of
it's
the
all the
camera.
memes of like men playing video games on Twitch and have the video game and the guy in the corner.
Yeah.
Like women playing video games on Twitch. Tiny game in the corner, whamming with it just knuckles hanging out.
That's exactly how it was, though. That wasn't even a meme; it was just real life.
So did
Even
OnlyFans
now,
take
it's
that
a
out?
generalization.
You go on the front page, and sometimes you'll just pick. It's just an arse. That's all
I
the
think-
camera is.
I don't think it was OnlyFans pressure, because this was way before OnlyFans sort of like became a thing in the general internet cultural knowledge. I think it was an attempt by Twitch, which wasn't a bad. It's not a bad concept. What you choose to ban and what you choose to allow on a platform, same thing with real life places. It kind of creates the culture that you want it to, what you're aiming to. So what Twitch wanted to do was, there was a part of them that was like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be known as the hot tub girl streamer booby streamer website. And so they tried to put in these restrictions about you can't do this, can't do that, can't do this, can't do that. But the way it ended up panning out is it never shook that reputation. Because there was a time where they wanted
Still
to
there.
be the video game place, but I mean,
but the thoughts found a way. They would always find a new
Yes.
meta that would circumvent the type of restrictions, like, oh, you're allowed to be in a bikini if you're swimming. Oh, hot tub streams are now a thing.
yeah, like you
Yeah,
could
yeah.
be
There's
in a
a paddling
bikini
pool
if
in
you
the
were in
corner.
a if you're like swimming or in a pool or a hot tub or something. That's an appropriate place for a bikini. So then they just move themselves to the fucking jacuzzis.
The thoughts were very, good at evolving.
The best one
Finding a
was.
way.
I mean,
The best
yeah,
one was you couldn't be topless, but then they said you can if there's a baby. So if you're breastfeeding, so then they just started bringing babies on camera and just whack them out.
What?
Do you remember? Do you remember the black bar thing that happened very
Oh, yeah.
shortly?
Oh,
that even
yeah,
Boogie
yeah.
did.
Ah, yes,
Do
I
you remember that?
Yeah.
That was first off.
And then when that got banned,
stream
they
like-
inversed it. And it was like, that's genius.
That
there was one. There was one woman that was showing like a Trump speech on her chest.
That's good. All right. Master Austin has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. Thank you.
Hey.
Master Austin, you are the master and not of bait. You're the master of Austin. Operation Outstanding Infield for $50. What's up, brother?
Oh, hey.
Gary, outstanding talk with Eli. Sent you a DM. I got the DM and idea about sharing stories of recovery, relapse, and coma fever dreams. Let me know what you think, Drew. Outstanding. We will talk. We'll do a show. We just got to figure out the time, brother. But I saw your message. I'll get back to you. Thanks. And give him a follow on Twitter. He's awesome, dude. Legalized Adulthood has gifted 40 Nerdrotic memberships for $200. Someday,
Dang.
adulthood will be legalized. Someday. Dan Vask. For 200 Brazilian pesos.
Hey.
$5.
$5.
Hey, man.
Who I guess he released a song today with some guy named Eric
June, I think his name is.
Eric Juneteenth. Eric
Yeah,
Juneteenth.
Eric Juneteenth,
Yeah. That's no. Him and Eric.
It's a
Alliance.
banger as well.
It's a good song.
Absolute banger, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good song. I'd play it, but he'd probably hit us with a copyright like he does, like he does for his fucking cover for Real BBC. The son of a bitch.
Every fucking week.
I played, what was it, Toss a Coin to Your Witcher once, and I got a claim, and I sent it to him. He went, "That's not me." I'm like,
It's not
why are you
him.
letting
No, it's
somebody
not
else
him.
Claim your your biggest song. It was like,
No, it's not him.
Sometimes people just claim shit that isn't there.
That's what we were just talking about. Yeah, Ethan Klein did some good work on the fair use with a lawsuit a few years ago, right? That kind of fixed things, and they're trying to fix like it's easy. Like you can license a song now pretty easily on YouTube. You go to that little music beta thing, and if you want it like a Queen song, you can. It'll cost you, but you can license it and use it if you want to. And then there's certain tiers, and there's free shit too. But there's a lot of companies out there that just claim shit that's not their own. They just it's a thing. It's been going on forever, and YouTube does nothing about it.
One of the issues is that people, like some of these sites that do that, you can just go to them and say that you own a song, and the checks that they put in place to ensure that the person actually owns the song are virtually non-existent sometimes.
Yep.
There are people who have I played a song in the back of a video or for whatever reason, and I had express permission from the person, and they didn't put it on Content ID. It was some synthwave song. But some Russian guy took that song, and he just sung over it, and then he claimed it as his own because I played the original song. So that's, but he was able to, I mean, I fought it and I won it, of course, but they can do that because there's not enough checks. The companies do this. They don't check. That's another customer that we can enforce the stuff of.
Yep.
Someone claimed the Will Smith slap. I'm like, he must have made a fortune. It's like, just the slap bit.
Oh, there's a third party.
Will Smith likes pretty girls?
No.
Yeah, his song about I have no standards.
There was a third party company out there that worked for Naughty Dog that affected a couple of channels here.
Muso Entertainment.
That's right. Yeah, he was talking about that recently.
Asmongold said he needed receipts. Asmongold said he needed receipts from Jeremy with that claim, and Jeremy showed him. There's plenty. There's plenty of receipts. Dan says, man buns are gay is now around the corner. And with it, world peace. Hail FNT, Gary's social security number is 1.
Man, you're
shit. Now everybody knows it. They're going to be able to get into my bank account.
They didn't know it was your PIN number as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just 11111.
Just getting one.
John Bat.
Same number as my luggage.
Oh, was that true that there was a big data breach with Apple and Google and all that? 16.
I don't think so.
Some of it was like just a load of old stuff that then got recycled. I think there was some new stuff, but it wasn't all like some big massive hack or anything.
Gotcha. Well, I saw it on Twitter, so it had to be true. John Babb for $100.
Hey,
because I love you all. Apologies for my foreignness, but I consider you the most trustworthy people in our industry. We are in trouble. We're all in trouble. So if you hear of anyone needing a composer, hit me up. I worked on music for Morrowind long ago, and I have
music's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
dude, we need a real BBC theme. Again, a new one. Fuck that.
No. I literally am looking for a digital composer. Who said the super chat?
John Babb, B-A-B-B. So
Babb?
send emails to.
Send me an email. Send me a message on Twitter. Reach out, John Babb. I literally am looking for a digital composer for a project.
I'm interested in that as well. I've been toying around with the idea. So also message me.
Send emails to everybody except for Ryan because he doesn't care about music. He doesn't like good things. That make
we know what cereal he likes. So.
No joke. I hired someone on Fiverr for a project, and they couldn't do what I needed. So
you gotta go
send Ryan a case of Peanut Butter Crunch, not Captain Crunch. Peanut Butter Crunch. He'll be happy about that.
I don't need anybody to make music for me, but I love music.
John, just kidding. I hope he's still on. Dude, you sent the super chat.
Yeah, I probably go to a lot more live musical performances than you motherfuckers do. I go to see orchestras and shit. I like music.
Well, I want to hear the music, so I just
somebody got angry. I was just kidding.
No, I go to a lot of symphonies.
I do too.
To John, my business email, go to the About tab on my YouTube channel, and you can find a business contact.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Just email. What's your email? Just say your fucking email.
If he can't find a way to contact you, that's the litmus test. That's the filter.
It is. It is. Right. If you can't figure that out, you don't deserve the business.
Post a song about Shad on Twitter. And then we'll share it to him.
Twilight makes you gay. That's what it's
Friday,
called.
Watch.
by the way, he says, I did the music long ago, so I have musicians and resources. Don't buy Reborn dolls, Gary. I won't. Okay. Yes, I have a lot of action figures, but I don't like play with them. I don't roll them around in strollers. All right, I might put Batman in the Batmobile once in a while and roll them around the house, but I mean that's just in private. Sure, it's just in private. Eric John,
I appreciate you like it. You don't have to kiss the thing.
That's what Az is doing. Eric John Pizza Art, a $50 rent. Says happy birthday, Jaws. That's right. Question for all of you. Jaws is 50. God damn it.
Jaws is 50?
Yes. 50.
God.
Is the movie theater model obsolete, and is there a newer medium of entertainment that will replace it the way movies dominated stage plays?
Yeah,
it's home.
Theaters are not I don't think theaters are obsolete, but they may, like many things, they will think of it as record players, right? They're not obsolete, but they will shrink to the sort of like appropriate size for what the market is, and that might happen to theaters. We've already kind of see it.
Exactly. Like the stage theater is going to become like the same thing as movie theaters. It's going to be a niche thing. People
it's niche.
Where I go at the moment, the movie theater that we go to, it's got its standard stuff, but then it's got a whole VIP section, and the VIP section pretty much gets sold out all the time. The seats are absolutely lovely. You get service to your seat, all that kind of stuff. So I think we're going to see more of that.
It's
kind of stuff
it's the
orientated
industry as it's charging more money or charging fewer people more money.
Yes.
Yeah. You have to provide an experience that
Which
you
means
can't
you're
have at
shrinking.
home.
One-stop shop
having
for
a decent
everything.
screen and speakers and everything you can now get at home, so they have to provide.
Just wait till Neuralink comes out and everybody has it. Just beam it straight to your
It has
brain.
reached maturity, and it will no longer be the prominent, most dominant form of entertainment, which it isn't. It hasn't been for a while. Gaming whooped its ass
Video
a decade
games,
ago.
a long time ago.
A decade ago. So it is number 2, and it'll probably be number 3 and 4, but it'll still be around. I buy vinyl. I have a fucking record player.
Yeah, there is a desire for that experience, like it is with like record plays and stuff. The theater experience is something that is noteworthy and special for a lot of things. There's many movies I'm glad I saw at the theater. I will continue to go. The reason I don't go more is because movies suck. But once they solve that little issue, then I'll go back more.
And some of the theaters are struggling enough so that they can't replace the bulbs in their screens. Like I had that issue today with 28 years later, the bulb was like flickering and the sound wasn't fully there.
That might have been the movie.
Oh, so it matches the editing of it.
I think that was just the editing.
That might have been the movie.
There's like that stuff before the movie. You can tell it's like, oh, that bulb's flickering.
Yeah. Well, that's just, I mean, ask yourself this. I know my answer. There's more stuff I'm looking forward to on streaming than any film this year.
Yeah. Well,
not even close. But there's like
Ironheart.
Yes.
Totally.
In all the wrong ways, but there's Landman's coming out. We got Tulsa King coming out. We got another Reacher show coming out. We got Stranger Things coming out. Like even Squid Game season 3, I'm mildly curious about. There's just more stuff on streaming that I give a shit about than actual fucking movies. So.
Well, I shared a foreign zombie movie about a boxer just trying to save his wife from zombies. And I think it's going to be better than 28 years later. I think there'll be more fighting zombies in it than there was in the movie.
Yeah, I saw that. That looks fun. It actually looks fun. WG for 73.15. What's up, brother? Donating a nickel for every creepy fake baby I've seen in this damn hotel. So you're here. Not gonna lie, I'm still trying to process that shit, dude. It's like weird. Every person who's walked in, and it's again, I need to give you a frame of reference. We're talking about people who are going to be giving lectures on structures under the pyramid and believe that we might be descended from aliens and that Atlantis actually existed. And we're talking about like the great flood theories of the world. And we are not the weirdest fucking people here. Not even fucking close. Not even close. It's so bizarre. And it's everywhere. Ryan, there's 1,500 of them here.
Any of them single or?
Probably.
I would
imagine Ryan will go there and say, so you guys really want a baby, hey?
Hey, I'm willing to be a stepdad to the fake
donor.
kid, all right? I'm ready.
It'd be cheaper.
Yeah.
Grey Castle is gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. Thank you, Gray Castle. Thank you. Jason Platten for 50. Got a cough. So I got a button. You guys are trying to argue logic over a zombie movie, which itself is illogical. It's a fantasy film. Therefore, the silly stuff was fun and interesting. I really enjoyed it and loved the bizarre characters. Feels like The Walking Dead, which I like.
Hey, guess what? Because it's
I
fantasy,
like the movie, Jason.
We
don't have to listen to the co-host. I agree with you.
That's not even my biggest problem. My biggest problem is that the plot threads never went anywhere.
Yeah,
rather
but it's
than not
fantasy.
being believable.
It's got dragons in it. It could, of course, it can suck and be terrible and not make any sense.
Yeah, like whatever your fantasy setting is, like it still has rules, right?
Yes.
This much like any post-apocalypse scenario, post-apocalyptic Earth, right? Things change as people's priorities change. Like whatever community you end up in, like you have a different way of life and a different way of like things are at a different level of importance as they are for us. So you just need to understand what the rules are, but everything needs to make sense in that universe in the framework of those rules.
Yep.
If we had watched this entire fucking thing and then all of a sudden the Spike like jumps like a million miles in the air, starts flying around, he breathes fire to kill the Alpha, and he like comes back down, you'd be like, well, that's fantasy. That's fine. Well, no, it's not. It doesn't make any sense with what they've established with the rules of this fantasy universe. Any fictional universe.
You are you say this now, you will not be consistent with this. You will not be consistent with it. There's obviously things that make some things better than others, and that's internal consistency and the logic of the narrative and how cause and effect work with each other. Just because it's a fantasy story, just because it has elements of science fiction in there, doesn't mean you throw out everything because it's not real.
Yeah. Now, to give him a bone, I think there are some kind of unspoken understandings when it comes to certain mediums or genres, I should really say genres, that people suspend their disbelief to different levels. Like when I watch a Jackie Chan movie, you don't need to tell me that he's far more durable than a real person was and is getting punched to hell and is not bleeding yet, you know, but we kind of just accept because it's part of the genre kind of thing.
Probably not a good example, Shad, because the amount of stunts that Jackie Chan does on his own, which are mental. Absolutely fucking mental.
Classic Jackie Chan.
There was one of him twirling a ladder around and he's jumping in between the step ladder and stuff, and he just did it. Like that's what I like when at the end of the movie they show you him doing all the stunts and where he fails.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, but like when you're watching certain genres, you expect certain things to not exactly be one-to-one to real life, but there's limits, and it can go too far even beyond that.
With this movie, they actually explain the zombies better than most because they're not zombies; they're still alive and they can be killed and they need to eat and they require sustenance. All that bullshit, but what gets lost, like guessing with a lot of people, is execution, because this is really it's really told as a fable, okay, and it's fucking crazy because it's also a fable that they're world building in. So that's where it gets like really jerky. Like you get to like, oh, there's kind of this surreal, ethereal point, and then all of a sudden, and then we're back to bullet time, fucking zombie shit, and then we're having a nice little, mother and son moment. Like there was so much in this, and it definitely felt like three separate ideas put into one.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it because it was weird and manic. I like weird and manic movies when they're done pretty good.
There was even weird stuff like when you thought it was another weird and manic moment when the fat zombie was crawling up and about to kill Spike, and then somebody grabs it and like bashes his head.
Yep.
And he wakes up, and you think, okay, that was just a dream or fake or whatever. But then no, the zombie's there, and it's like, holy shit, what the fuck just happened? And they give you about 5 seconds of trying to imagine what happened before they show you. Your mom did it.
Dude, they're cutting in like other movies.
It was clearly
like into this. So there was so many. There was frames of it was
like a random medieval movie.
Yeah,
the archer scenes.
Roll in the Wretched, 4 parts for $100.
Hey,
what's rolling?
I'm excited for Ironheart.
He is wretched.
Don't get me wrong, I'm still not watching this shit, but since they have a drag queen and trans character, I think it's just a drag queen.
No, there's a trans character. There's two.
There's one from, she used to be in Wentworth. and she played. Well, she calls herself trans masculine. But that was in Went.
That casting was announced 2 years ago.
One of the twins.
It was
the blood twins. Okay, whatever they're called.
You know, just on the random medieval film cut-ins. Odin,
I'm in the middle of a super chat. I'm in the middle of a super chat, Chad.
Did you not recognize Henry V?
No, I actually
they were clips from
I
Henry
did.
V.
I did.
Were there any from El Cid or?
Might have, but I recognize that.
Like Shad comes in 5 minutes later from the conversation before the super chat.
He didn't get it out of my
another note from an hour ago.
Some more weird editing that didn't.
Just one more thing.
That editing was chaotic as the movie. Yeah.
Well, here's an old movie where they use bows too.
So there's a drag queen and a trans character, and they're saying there was a trans character in She-Hulk. As remembers.
Yes.
So it's not the first.
This is like
it's not the first trans character. Okay.
We all remember that, thanks, Dad. Seared into our minds forever.
I actually reference that because I say in my video today when I talk about 28 weeks, I'm like, and they got these alpha male with a massive cocks. The massive knockers were She-Hulk.
That alpha could have knocked someone out with that thing. That was just distracting.
I wasn't focusing on much as you guys were, but all right.
The camera was panned down.
Hard to miss. I mean,
over and over again.
You can't avoid it.
Yeah.
That's right.
There was even one scene.
I can't. You guys can wander all the places in the theater. You're not locked in on that screen.
The entire camera.
Gary saw this thing in fucking IMAX. It's like fucking 48 feet tall. He's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I saw it in the theater.
Cinemas.
Hey, I'm blind. So,
it would be after that thing.
I mean, that thing it'll poke your eye out. That's
just shoot your eye out, kid.
What I found awful distracting.
If it was in 3D, holy shit!
It was trimmed.
The 4D cinema with like the fire.
I'm about to go native.
Why did it need to be so veiny?
Yeah. Back to the left.
I can tell this zombie's right-handed.
I mean, couldn't they find someone who was circumcised? I mean, come on.
I am still not watching this shit, but since they have a drag queen and trans character, we are going to hear Terry say those magical words. That dude has a great rack. I will see you for microwave tea, Terry. Yes, microwave tea is the only tea's gay. All right,
yeah,
tea is
there
like
was no last week, so for that, Roland, you're doubling up.
Tea, like if you're sick, it's fine. Otherwise, have coffee. For fuck's sake. Yeah, man.
Is this like? Are you like all tea, like iced tea?
Just because
like
you microwave
Louisiana
it
and stuff is.
Iced tea's okay.
Or okay.
No, it's just like it's like whelming. It's a whelming drink. It's like if it's there, like it, if you do the Arnold Palmer, like little lemonade and fucking. That's good. Arnold Palmer.
In the UK, if you got run over and like you'd broken bones, you're all over like half the street, someone would offer you a cup of tea.
I drink
it's
it.
Just the cure-all for everything over here.
And you'd get better from it as well.
Seems slightly dead. Yeah. Here, have some tea. It'll make you feel better.
It's probably why the zombies are still alive. They're just on the PG tips.
But like as a choice, and I have other drinks to choose from, I'm not choosing tea.
Yeah, unless you're sick to the point where like you're losing your voice and you you can't even speak because you're sick. That's the only time tea should ever be an option.
Right. This is why super chats take 10 hours.
Or something.
oh, did you just say that as?
Yeah.
Okay, shut the fuck up. Ryan, I failed my biology test today. They asked what is commonly found in cells, and apparently black people wasn't the right answer.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness.
By the way,
I did not see that one coming.
Oh my god.
I did not see that one coming, Roland.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ.
Travis.
On the day after Juneteenth.
I disavow.
The day after Juneteenth.
Ironheart's not doing him any favors.
Sensitive bastard. By the way, main event keeps using videos of you to try to make you show the show less gay because you won't appear in person.
It's the first time hearing of that. I don't watch that show. I didn't even know that.
Come watch Ian play Dustborn tonight because he thinks he's going to torture me. He doesn't realize that, like the Borg, I adapt, so you can't get me with the same thing twice. Resistance is futile. This is Tuesday's movie. This Tuesday's movie is The Great Outdoors for my members.
Yes.
It says my members.
It's not playing the game that's going to torture you. It's the chat torturing you because you maybe played the game.
There you go. And we all get tortured.
Yes.
Wait till I play a game, motherfucker.
Gary, you can't play shit.
I'll open that door. You just
look. He'll be playing Relooted.
I'm playing Relooted. Back. Nerdrotic Gaming is back with Relooted. Take it to the fucking bank. Let's fucking go. I will fucking reloot the shit out of everything. I will
putting all the artifacts back in the museum.
That's right, you fucking colonialists, you bastards. I'm gonna bring it back to the people, my people. I've been in prison. Today's
the English Museum for America. You're like, no, we're gonna colonize what was colonized.
Gary, don't mention prison and having some black in you in the same sentence, okay?
I didn't say it was in me. That's your fantasy, buddy. Whatever you think about in your time, please keep to yourself.
You said my people. By the way, I've been to prison. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together, man.
Yeah. That makes me
Monica still brings back memories.
Today's read 1 Timothy 1:8. Today's read 1 Timothy 1:8. We know that FNQ is good if one uses it properly. Hail FNQ, Fellowship Chat, Mods, Little Thor, and rest in peace, Pizza Time. Dan Vosk is a good sport about man buns are gay, but still gay. Until next time, so long, gay boys.
First Timothy.
First Timothy's. Is it Tim? Is that a book?
the 1 Timothy.
Well, there's one in front. It just means first. First.
Oh, the first Timma. Timma. Liblau.
While you're bastardizing the scripture, let me correct you on this.
Apart from why wasn't he circumcised? Is that the first thing that fucking Odin had said to me?
Maybe.
DJ for $100. Shad can't wheel a broadsword because of his girth. It's not the good kind of girth.
His girth or the swords? We need clarification.
It was his girth.
Oh.
And it's not the good kind of girth. And apparently, DJ would know about it. So you got some splaining to do, DJ. And you too, Shad.
That sounds like fighting movies.
Oh, they're gonna sword fight, all right.
Yeah, they are.
Just touching tips, though.
Yeah. Doc.
It's called fencing. All right. It's a man's sport.
Bad remembering gaming.
It's a patrician's game.
Gotta get snowman.
For 20. Says proud dad moment yesterday. My oldest kid, my daughter, said she likes Star Trek and Star Wars, TNG, and A New Hope. It's just called Star Wars. It's okay. Keep up. Well done, by the way. Keep up the good work. You are all making a difference. Hail the fellowship. Hail to you.
Oh, thank you.
Smart daughter. Watch the Padres beat the Dodgers last year after Comic-Con. Fun game. And they won last night on Juneteenth. But they've been playing like shit. Fucking Padres.
No, it's a proud moment. You walk in and suddenly your kids chose to put on Lord of the Rings of their own volition, and they're just watching it.
That is a huge moment.
That's like,
no,
that must be a proud man right there.
No, when you like my kids, like, Dad, I started reading Elric. I'm like,
there's no more I can teach you.
That's a far cry from an 8-hour YouTube video of a spinning chip. Sometimes those are cool too.
Yeah,
I'm more of a horizontally spinning rat kind of guy. But
I'm glad my son does not know who Kylo Ren is, but does know who Discount Darth Vader is.
There you go. Because you taught him that. That's why
I did.
True story. I was in a hotel elevator earlier with Gary. He giggled and asked me, "What should I do?" I just let out a long silent fart. I told him to replace his hearing aid battery. Says anonymous on Streamlabs side for $20. No, I just let out a fart and I wouldn't say a fucking word about it. I'd just sit there and look around and kind of make it look like it was you who just fucking farted.
Yeah, even
that's
if it
what I
was
do.
Gaslight them.
You don't own the thing, like you're proud of it.
Hell
Terry?
no, what the fuck?
No.
You fart in the elevator, it is fucking somebody else. That fake baby farted right there. That wasn't me.
Even if I'm alone in the elevator, act like it's someone else.
Right? We've all had those kind of farts. Okay.
It's not the real me.
Ryan Kinnell on the Streamlabs side for $10 says, just read the part in Gary's autobiography where he was addicted to the hokey pokey. Glad to see he turned himself around. Oh.
Hey, that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Oh my lordy. And that's where we're gonna leave it. That's a good one. We're gonna square it up. I think probably late tomorrow night. We're gonna do it late tomorrow night. We're gonna square it up because of travel schedule and stuff like that. But I gotta get back. It's almost 8 o'clock here. Fuck this East Coast time shit. I go get to my conference here. So let's go around the horn. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us tonight. It's a fun show. What do you got coming up, Odin?
Salty Saturday, stream tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time on the Salty Nerd Podcast channel. And check out my channel, OMB Reviews, for box office breakdowns. Looking pretty good for 28 years later, despite our opinions on the movie. It's actually looking like it's going to have a pretty good weekend. What was that?
I have a feeling your opinion dropped.
Thanks. Comics.
Yeah, Dustmore tonight, 9 p.m. Central Time. That game is just fucking hilarious, man, for all the wrong reasons.
We're the Dustborn. We're illegal.
The songs are awful.
They were unlocking talents and like bullying and like gaslighting and stuff.
It's funny because like even the main character admits that she's an awful person. It's hilarious. I love like making all the really awful decisions in the game. It's a gem for all, like, again, for all the wrong reasons. So join me if you want. It's a lot of fun. Take care. See you guys next Friday.
When's Relooting coming out?
Oh, I have to look that up.
God, I hope it's soon.
12th of never.
Before GTA 6.
Probably.
Shad?
Just says 2025.
Yes.
So yes.
Thank you,
Before
Shad.
Winds of
Brag.
Winter, that's for sure.
Right, that's Shad.
People know where I am. Weekly live stream Culture Crusade, having fun. Last week's one, we reacted to Moist Critical's take on AI. And surprisingly, I agreed with a chunk of what he said, but he also gets older. So anyway, that was fun.
We're not keeping it in a box.
It needs to be in a box.
I saw an AI video of cats competing at Olympic diving competition.
I saw that.
Really revolutionized my entire opinion on it.
Yeah,
I saw that video today too. It'll be very easy to AI Moist Critical.
He says that.
Nobody knew.
He opens his video with an AI of him and not a video.
He's like, I am quite monotone.
I am.
It's starting to scare more people with how good the video is getting, and there's actually some validity to some of the concern, and I talk about it. The concern is the slop, the deluge of slop, but there's multiple angles to.
Well, have you seen what YouTube's doing? They're opening up their generative AI for shorts. So they want it on the platform. I was hoping that they may suppress it or something. It's like, no, we just want it. What is they're watching as long as
I don't want it.
Exactly. And that proves my point. His takeaway was like, how did this AI video get several 100 million views? And my answer on the live stream is because YouTube pushed it. It only got
you'll probably have tests to see the people's
It's the same reason they pushed that girl in a fucking van who got like 8 million fucking subscribers in a week. You know, it's the same. Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck was she?
There was a really happy ending to that story.
What was that?
It's a Gabby Petito. There was a really happy ending.
No, not that one, you divot. Fucking.
I was talking about the black girl. Yeah, the black girl.
Oh,
not the other. Not the.
I don't know Ryan, so this is like.
What happened?
Did something horrific happen? Is that what he's talking?
Yeah, she got murdered. Yeah,
Gabby Petito just got murdered by a boyfriend that went off and killed himself.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I remember that now.
We were a bunch of YouTubers who lives in a
bunch of YouTubers covered it extensively.
She had a really happy ending.
I thought he was being serious.
Not
I
like
should have known better.
Not like a Korean massage happy ending, okay?
No,
not like that.
I just thought, maybe she went off and bought a house or something. I didn't know she got brutally murdered. I should have actually realized what the source was.
We're all going to hell.
Well, actually, the last that Gary was mentioning did go and get herself a house.
She made a lot of money really quick, and it was totally authentic how she got all those subs.
Not in the slightest. Yes, yeah.
And
so now they can do it with AI and not pay anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's right.
Petito had the same ending as the mom in 28 years later.
Okay, so that Janelle lass, right?
They also found her skull.
2.34 million subscribers, 31 videos. Hasn't posted in 3 fucking years.
Yes.
Absolutely organic as fuck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
That is
maybe she's really entertaining as jealous.
Yeah, have you seen the videos?
Well, yes, I am for a start.
31 videos never work again.
Those
that's like a fucking week for me. Jesus.
Yeah, and I did see that first video she was in, and I'm like, I didn't understand.
If you watch one video on a tiny house, your entire feed will just be, you should live in a pod. It's so weird.
Pretty much.
You know that from experience, Disparu.
Yes, I periodically fall down. I started watching like first class flight videos and stuff, and then like hotel reviews and things. I fall for the algorithm every time. Do you want this?
Oh, I am flooded with the Song of Ice and Fire theory videos, and so is Ryan. And I'm totally happy with that.
I watched one Resident Evil AI trailer, and that's all my fucking feed is now.
Yep. Rags, what do you got coming up?
Well, if you guys want to hear more about 28 Years Later, we will be discussing it on EFAP tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central. And by we, I mean not me, because I'll actually be away on vacation with the fam. So I'll be gone for the week.
Nice.
But Fringy, Mahler, and Platoon will be talking about 28 Years Later in excruciating detail. But I think it will be a very good talk, because I think that there's quite a lot about this movie to talk about. So be there for that. And as for myself, I mean, I'll be gone for the next week, and hopefully when I get back, I can get to work on some things. I've got some stuff planned. I've got some things lined up, and I'm trying to do a few new things. So we'll see where that goes. I'm pretty optimistic about it, and I think it'll be pretty neat, because I want to get back on things rolling. So yeah, thanks for having me on the Friday Night Tights show that you do, and it was great. It was a great, good talk.
Thanks, Rags.
Anytime, provided it's Friday at 3 p.m. Central.
Yeah, Central.
That's actually quite coincidental.
Disparu.
Ironheart, because they've decided to release 3 episodes on the same day for 2 weeks running.
Woo!
So
lock in.
A lot of work.
That's my next 2 weeks. Yep.
Yes.
Lots of clips to farm up until there. You can do it in a couple of videos before even the fucking show comes out. There's so many clips on this. They're great. I look forward to it
too. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, I'm all in on it. So I look forward to your stuff. Ryan.
Well, luckily, all you need to do to get caught up on Ironheart, Disney Plus recommends you watch just a few things: Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, and the What If series. That's all you have to watch.
Was that a real list?
Ironheart.
Yeah, there was 8
things.
things.
Oh my god.
I'm sure.
I think she's only in 2 of them.
But just normal stuff. I would not recommend people watch the Netflix Gabby Petito limited series they did. It fucking sucks. It's boring. So find out about that shit somewhere else. That's about it.
Yeah,
just read the Wikipedia on it.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Wow. God, fuck yourself. Fuck.
Why?
Every time one of these things comes out and we have to watch a bunch of stuff to prepare for it, it never ends up mattering.
No, didn't Kevin Feige actually say
if anything,
doing homework now is dumb for movies?
And out of all those, only 2 of them are actually worth a damn: Iron Man and Doctor Strange. Everything else is crap.
Well, I mean, any movie or TV series, you shouldn't have to watch something else. They should do a little.
I'd watch
intro
Iron
to
Man
start.
2.
Yeah, Iron Man 2 is on the.
I would say that. I mean, if all this was good and it actually was a decent follow up to the other stories and linked to them in a meaningful way, then yeah, I'd be like, yeah, you should watch the previous stuff. You know,
Yeah, why? What if there must be some Darkhold stuff? I didn't finish.
What if
all
the magic shit?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All the magic shit.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. As
saw
you started making videos again. When are you going to bring up back the whiteboard?
When I get back to the UK.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Thank you. I just want to say huge thank you to everyone who's been back in Saints and Sinners, because we've just gone over 8,800 books
nice.
with 28 days. Fucking hell. Still to go. Can we get off that quick time? I'm fucking sick of seeing 28 fucking wank. So you got 28 days late. To support Saints and Sinners, please do. Let's get to 10,000 books. That'd be amazing. Other than that, this week I'm going to be back with afternoon tea, regular time. Sunday Fun Day isn't happening this week because of all the con and people being away, but I'll be streaming during Sunday Fun Day times. I'll pick a game. I'm thinking Stellar Blade with massive tit mod.
Nice.
Just to get everybody fucking angry on the internet. I've got James Gunn boys mad at me because I just took 2 snippets from that quote from Superman today. I get scared. Was it? I get scared. What did I put? I get scared. That's my greatest strength. And people going nuts. You're taking about a contact. Which is pretty funny. So I think I'm gonna maybe buy a boost on that from Elon, just to get even more people mad. Other than that, more videos. Lots more videos are coming. So we're gonna get back into the swing, just as the algorithms died completely and videos are doing shit. Gonna get back into them.
It's happening across the board. Like, a lot of people are reporting that.
Unless you do Rachel Zegler, in which case it's
That's
still
true.
fucking going.
Very true. Yeah.
So Rachel Zegler video coming soon with nothing to say apart from everything we already have.
Just peaks and valleys. It is what it is.
That's YouTube. I'm sure you guys will have a fine July.
Real BBC on Gary's channel this week.
Maybe.
Ripping a Silver back on my channel this week. Go Sport Norfolka. Dan Vask and Eric Song's amazing. Get it charting.
Get it charting. That's right. Thanks. Thanks everybody for coming on. Appreciate it. I had a fun time. If you're in Greensboro and you want to come and check out some cool ancient civilization stuff, you want to come see Randall Carlson. Randall Carlson's fucking awesome, by the way. And Ben from Uncharted X and Luke Caverns is going to be here. A lot of cool people. And we're here. We're here running around. We'll be at the Cosmic Summit. We are not the people with the little fake baby dolls. We're the ones with the crystal hippies. So come out and hang out with some. It's such a weird mix. It's like really based people and crystal hippies at our show. So it's a lot of fun. So come see us if you want to come and say hi. People already have. And some of you are here, and I'm going to go down in the lobby right now and get something to eat. Because I'm hungry.
Grab a baby and kick it.
You know, it might not be
not a real one. Not a real one.
Yeah, be specific. Okay,
one of the blue tree one things.
I was walking around, and now you are checked because there are people with real babies here, and you're like checking. You're like, okay, that one's real. It's breathing.
Man, I'd be scared to have a real baby there. I'd feel like I'd get mugged.
I would be too.
Yeah, in case someone knows it picks it up and
everyone would be
like,
asking, "What's wrong with your baby?"
Book. We're working on our intro trailer. It's pretty cool. Perry's working on it. So look for news next week. Next week, I know I've been saying that, but next week we just waiting for the trailer to get done. So thanks for Eli and the Hodge Twins for having me on. Had a lot of good feedback on that. So thanks everybody. We will see you next Friday when F1 F1 is coming out, and I'm looking forward to it.
Forward to that.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna lose a fuck ton of money, but I think it looks good.
Yeah.
So
I was amazed at how
homework
much
for next week
is F1
and
Ironheart. Yeah. So we got some good. You got good and bad, possible, potentially good, potentially good.
Ironheart, good.
Well, Ironheart will be fun. I'm gonna have lots of fun.
It's gonna be a comedy.
It's gonna be fun. But yeah, F1 looks really cool. So I hope it is. I hope it is. See you guys next time. Thanks to the Nerdrotics. Thanks to everyone who lives through chat and donation. You help keep the lights on. Square up tomorrow night late. Nerdrotic at night. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.
God bless.
Toodaloo.
And the crowd cannot wait. Oh, hail Friday Night Lights. I apologize because I'm probably late. Oh, hail Friday Night Lights.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Dame, dame.